could be comfort picks for their players. Could also be, it's not, and like you said, they're not even that bad of picks in the meta right now. Is there someone on this Calder's Good Boys squad that you're thinking is the one to watch, as it could be trouble here for Hard, able to get away on the Hachiman though? Just a little bit of poke, and that's what that on her is going to be so much pressure in this lane. But is there going to be is there anybody you're kind of keeping your eyes on for the Calder's Good Boys here, of someone to play through?
Yeah, I definitely think that the jungler and the solo laner, if they're able to come together and kind of do stuff together, I think that they're going to do a lot of hurt on this team. There's not a lot of get away from Thanatos gods on the other side. Like obviously Ravana has his get out, Anora has a jump, but like Apua, Poseidon, Yamoja, even if you get later in the game, you start being able to do good damage to the support. I think all those picks are really good for Danny to go on. And CC lock them down, do a ton of damage, get all of his health back. The Thanatos combo, as we've all come to know and fear. So I do think that they have some playability into this team for sure. I think it'll just come down to execution. Maybe Cyberpunk Otters has the easier team to kind of work with, but if Calder's Good Boys can lock down who they want to, I think they have a ton of single target damage, and they could pick whoever they want in these fights.
I agree. Lots of potential for this to go many different ways. I'm excited to see how it plays out, as again we see Tyler 2K getting aggressive over here in the dual lane. Not going to find a kill, but it's just more pressure, more poke damage constantly being applied over here on the left side of the map. Something I kind of want to highlight and get your opinion on here, Snips, is Dolo XL has started the Katana tree as the first item overall on this Thanatos. I'm not much of a jungle main myself, as Tyler 2K takes a bit of damage. But wouldn't you normally assume the mace tree is the start for the Thanatos? What's this Katana? Is this going to be a golden blade? What's the plan here?
I would guess that this is going to be a golden blade. Maybe he's just really concerned about the clear. Maybe this is just telling of what he's going to be doing throughout the match. Maybe he's not going to be looking for too many kills in the early game. More focusing on, oh my gosh, and he's just dead.
Wow, not the direction I thought this dual lane was gonna go. I feel like on her Yamoja just breathes pressure, but it's Tyler 2K who falls for first blood. And Calder's Good Boys, we were talking about maybe them being on the back foot in terms of team comp. They're showing us that might not be the case at all.
Definitely. Hachiman has a ton of single target damage. This is exactly what I was focusing on. They just have really good, I'm going to kill this one person, especially with Hachiman and...
oh my. Dolo's just gone. The invade was happening. It was successful. The red buff is gone, and then Dolo just quickly followed. First crack into the game, first kill of the game for Guzzy, answering back to what happened in that dual lane.
Yeah, health bar went so fast I didn't have time to give the hot mic back to you, but now we see another fight happening in solo lane.
A little bit of poke going back and forth. Cullen able to kind of bully as well, even though it's hard to keep up with the mage pressure. I feel like if there's a warrior that can keep up with the bullying that Krusty's going to be able to do on this Apua, it's got to be Cullen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that, like I was saying before, if you're going to pick a warrior, Cullen's probably up there right now in terms of being able to stick onto the mage, do good damage, and sustain, right? Warriors have pretty good sustain right now. I know people look at the mage sustain and they go, never mind, but they still have a good amount of like healing backup, right? So I do think that this is one of the two warriors that I would take against the mage if I had to. That one and Sun Wukong. So I really do like this pickup. Going back to the invade though, just crazy knowledge on the side of Guzzy. Just knew exactly when that red was going to be got. Came in, threw the ult out, and he said, "Bye, Dolo." He said, "Gone."
Yeah, that's just exactly what Poseidon in the mid lane's able to bring. When Poseidon's in that solo lane, still has a good amount of damage. The Kraken is still going to be a Kraken, but in that mid lane when you're building full power, get used to that side. Health bars deleting once that ultimate ability goes off from the mid laner of the Cyberpunk Otters. Things have slowed down a little bit. I feel like we got a lot of action back to back to back there. But Now, just farming up both of these teams, pushing themselves towards that mid to late game. I mean, besides just how much more meta the Otters team is, do you feel like either team has a clear advantage if we get to that true late game period? As we might have to hold that thought, a bit of a rotation in towards the support of the Calder's good boys, but able to just walk away cleanly. No harm, no foul. I mean, do you think either team is on a real timer here?
I do think the Calder's Good Boys is kind of on a timer, only because I do think on the side of Cyberpunk Otters, there are more scaling gods on that team. I think that Poseidon scales very well. Aqua's going to scale very well. Of course, mages. Every item that they get just makes them that much more scary, and eventually they just become a nuclear bomb that kills you in one shot. I think Yamoja is just going to get scarier with items and being able to throw out more abilities with the Oni. I think that on the side of Colders, I think it's really going to come down to this Agni and this Hachimon being able to get the damage that they need and the space that they need from their teammates, from Daddy Neptune on this Kukulin and from the captain on Ganesha. I think it's gonna. I just think it's really gonna come down to, are they able to get the target they want? I still think that this is a very single like focused team. They're gonna want to kill somebody pretty fast and then follow up from there. So I think it's really going to come down to, are they able to get their ducks in a row, or are they just going to get bursted by this mage comp that they kind of got going on the Cyberpunk Otters?
Going to be interesting to see how it played out. It is the Golden Blade that was locked in first overall for Dolo XL on this Thanatos, wanting that early clear. These impales have been on point from Tyler 2K. The ultimate is forced, but it's not enough. The on her just does too much damage, and Tyler 2K will answer back for the kill that was put on him earlier and put Cyberpunk Otters up 2-1 7 minutes into this game.
Super tough fight to be in. Anor is just kind of the 1v1 god, even with Hachimon being also a very good 1v1er, being able to stun you and get a ton of damage with that dash, being able to bring the banner down on you while getting attack speed. Really good abilities, but if you can't use them because you're getting knocked up and impaled into a wall, then that's kind of it.
Gold Fury, the call now for the Otters squad, and there's no one from Calder's Good Boys anywhere around. The Kraken good for the secure, but wasn't even needed. No order side member was anywhere close to that pit, so that's a free early Gold Fury off the back of the pick in dual lane, and that's, I think, why we see so much dual pressure. There's just so much you can get off of the back of it.
Absolutely. I do think, I'm a little biased as an ADC player, but I think that there's a lot that you can get in the left side of the jungle. It lets you kind of pivot between your mid laner and your dual lane player. Both of your carries. So I do think that that's kind of the better option to be in. But we'll see with this fight coming up.
Dolo XL just off the mark with the hovering death there, unable to find anything with that, but a little bit of a skirmish. Purple buff just about to spawn, but Calder's good boys leaving right before that happens. Just pick up a shield buff for their troubles. Gold fairly even between the two teams, just about 1,000 or so in favor of the Otters off the back of that Gold Fury and maybe a couple of those kills, but nothing backbreaking quite yet. Both of these teams fairly even. We're getting closer and closer to the mid game as we continue. The beacon probably going to be the next point of interest between these two squads. Once we hit that, 12.
Prioritize that and be like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do, is kind of give up my lane and my farm to go do this. But we're about to see a fight maybe break out.
A little bit of a rotation over towards the left side once again, and this time it's the Calder's Good Boys getting aggressive, but Yamoja slippery and tanky enough and sparked out, able to just walk away from some of that pressure. Not a whole lot to get on this left side of the map right now either. So Calder's Good Boys just kind of forced to back up and continue their farm here 10 minutes into the game. Taking a look at some of the builds again here. My eyes are going to what Guzzy's going on in the mid lane. No Book of Toth that we've kind of been used to seeing over and over. What is this Charon's coin into Divine gonna bring? That might have to hold that thought though. Actually, a lot of trouble over here for Daddy Neptune, and he will end up falling. The third kill of the game for the Cyberpunk Otters, going the way of I Try You Mad Yet, picking up that kill on the Kukulin, and now continuing the pressure into the jungle of Kaldr's good boys, looking for some more invades, and they should be able to pick up that blue buff as well.
Really good rotation coming from the side of Cyberpunk Otters. Just, getting the Opwa ahead is so big and so huge, but we see a Blink coming in.
Blink trying to find the kill on this mid laner as well, but the Agni stuns are good. Down, not gonna quite be on the mark for you, Mad, yet unable to find that. But look who's here, Tyler 2K rotates over and picks up the kill on Twisted Fire Ranger. The Thanatos lands into the Kraken, and Guzzy will get a kill as well. It's a double kill for Tyler on this on her, and Cyberpunk Otters just decided now is the time and absolutely run through Kaldr's good boys there on their side of the jungle. If it wasn't 11 minutes in, I'd think they were backing up for Fire Giant right now.
I almost thought they were backing up for Fire Giant for a second at the 11-minute mark. And it kind of looks like they are going for Fire at the 12-minute mark.
This is crazy. Even with a near wipe that they just got, the DPS is going to be so low on this Fire Giant. They are sticking to it, though. No one from Kaldr's Good Boys is aware of it right yet.
They're going to Beacon. They're going to Beacon, Doc.
There is no way. Trading Beacon for Fire Giant cannot be worth it. This Fire Giant is getting low, and no one knows. It's only Daddy Neptune. He can't hear that happening or doesn't want to rotate in. And a 12-minute, 20-second Fire Giant goes the way of the Cyberpunk Otters. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Daddy Neptune, you better get out of here. Transformation's over. There's a team of FG right around you. Luckily, you might be able to just make it out. That is crazy.
Well, you know what they say, what you don't know won't hurt you. And the side of Kaldr's good boys had no idea that fire was happening. So they pick up that beacon and they head on their merry way as the chimes of war ring out across the battlefield of the gods. Just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy good plays from Cyberpunk Otters. Got the cleanup and said, we got this. So good on them, I guess, for just being that guy, being Himothy, as they have a 12-minute and 20-second Fire Giant.
The question now is, what can they do with it? I mean, normally Fire Giants is about sweeping towers or getting Phoenixes. We are so early in this game. What do you expect to see from this early Fire Giant coming out of the Otters?
Definitely objective picking up. So the Pyro and the Gold Fury, I'd love to see, the Oni Fury, I'd love to see them go grab those since they have all the pressure. But honestly, right now, those Fire Giant belts are kind of just like 1v1 belts. Like, we're going to be able to do any damage that we want, sustain anything that we want, as they look for this pickup on Ganesh, but they're not going to find it. Probably backing up to that Oni Fury. But as I was saying, like right now, they're kind of just 1v1 belts. It's just like every single person with a belt on them right now can just beat their lane opponent. So at the 14-minute mark, I think it's all about objective burn and being able to take these easy team fights.
Well, it looks like Kaldr's good boys are in agreement. They know that objectives is the call, so they are going to try and take the Pyromancer while Oni Fury's being done. The zoning alt coming out of Krusty's is enough to make them back up for the moment, but they will be able to trade Oni Fury for Pyromancer. And when your team has a 12-minute Fire Giant around their waist, I'd say that is pretty decent. This tier 1 tower going to get deleted under the pressure of the Otters. Now the Kaldr's good boys need to back up. They need to be careful. No sense in dying here. And it looks like the siege is going to go on. They want this. They're going to use the River's Rebuke, and that's a low health bar for Twisted Fire Angel. Does manage to dash underneath the tower, or underneath the Phoenix, but the mid-tier 2 is falling quickly. The captain in there to try and slow them down. And Kaldr's good boys, they want this fight. Here's the Pillars of Agony, but they need to be careful because dashing into the back is the Robin, who gets a pick onto Dolo. I don't know about fighting a team with Fire Giant who has this gold lead on you this early in the game. Not working out for Kaldr's good boys, but I mean, at least they're playing confident. They're playing their own game plan, even if it's not working out for them quite yet.
Yeah, Dolo in the middle of 3 with Fire Giant when I'm going to ult right here. So that is definitely confidence, right? That's definitely, he had the game plan. He just wasn't able to successfully, let the game plan come into effect. But that's okay because they all have Fire Giant, right? So right now would probably, like you said, not be the best time to be up-downing with Thanatos. But they're definitely not out of it yet. That's what's kind of great about a 12-minute and 20. I have to keep saying that because it's
Yeah.
actually breaking my brain a little bit. The 12-minute and 20 Fire Giant does stink, but it's only 15 minutes into the game, right? So it was tough. You definitely lost towers that you didn't want to this early in the game, but you still have plenty of time to kind of try to crawl back in, get the XP and farm that you need. They're, crazily enough, they're only 4K down after 5 towers have gone down. They're down 6 kills, and I feel like that is pretty telling of like how hard they're still staying in it. They're still getting their buffs. They're still trying to get stuff done. So I think that they need to be a little bit more patient. I think that they need to, recognize when there's 4 people in mid lane with Fire Giant, and I think that they can still put up a really good fight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're only 17 minutes into this game.
Right.
My whole viewpoint has been shifted because we've already had a fire and we're only 17 minutes in this game. I haven't even crossed the 17 minutes threshold until I finish speaking this sentence. It will finally get there. And Deacon's pointing out here as a fight breaks out in mid, could be trouble for Twisted Fire Angel, but returning a decent amount of damage. River's Rebuke, though, is good to trap him in the Whirlpool. And I Try You Mad will get yet another kill on the Ravana. 3-0-4 now on this pick. Just wrong place, wrong time for Twisted Fire Angel, as Dolo has gone Golden Blade into Jotuns and now going to go into some crit. Break this build down for me as another Fire Giant is started up here. We might actually hold that thought because this one might get contested. Prinzy's popped. They are looking for it, but here comes Daddy Neptune to try and slow them down, to try and maybe steal this away. Does have the transformation available. The Fire Giant is still being partially looked at, but it's dropped now. It's still low at the same time as the fight continues. But Krusty's Nuts will get the pick onto Daddy Neptune. Is there anything the Kaldr's good boys can do to stop this Fire Giant? No. The Fire Giant does go the way of the Cyberpunk Otters, but Dolo will get 1 kill in return. He gets blinked on, though, by the Ravana, who has to overhead kick away. And all in all, I feel like Kaldr's good boys, they did okay there. You lose another FG. It's not enhanced, though, and you get a pick on 1.
Definitely was not the worst possible thing that could happen, but
oh, the back was interrupted, and Krusty's falls. Dolo with yet another kill makes this more and more worth it. Even if you lose that Fire Giant, they're picking up a Pyromancer, they're picking up a Beacon. Is Crit Thanatos the call here?
I don't know if Crit Thanatos is the call, especially because Thanatos doesn't have
That's
actual
true.
crit yet.
Yeah.
But I do think they did an incredible job of slowing them down at the Fire Giant, even though they lost one and they lost the Fire Giant, because of how much chaos Daddy Neptune was able to cause into the line of Cyberpunk Otters. Dolo was able to come in. Hard Step Down was able to come in and do a lot of good damage, and they were able to pick up 2 kills. One of them being on the All-Paw solo lane, which was already doing crazy good stuff for them. So I think that Cyberpunk Otters kind of overstepped a little bit, which is great for the Kaldr's good boys. They really wanted that Fire Giant. They were able to secure it, but they lose 2, and they lose Pyro. So all in all, not bad for the Kaldr's good boys.
Otters will pick up the Fury for themselves. They are still the team with Fire Giant. Even if it, could have gone better for them, they will be able to use that to pick themselves up the Fury. And it looks like they're going to go on the siege attempt again. Heading over towards this left lane, the most important lane when it comes to sieging. And it's a late rage pickup for Dolo XL on this Thanatos as we keep an eye on this jungler build. I mean, if you're Kaldr's good boys here, you definitely don't hard defend this tier 2, but you defend the Phoenixes, right?
They're definitely going to attempt the hard defense, as they actually are able to push the Cyberpunk Otters away. Cyberpunk Otters making a clean escape with the help of the Yamoja pools. So kind of interesting. Was able to defend the T2, albeit at probably sub 500 health on that tower. Sub 200 health probably. But never mind, as Alpa wants to make sure that, never mind, as everyone is just making me look like a dummy. And the tower is still standing as another fight breaks out.
Dolo wants this going up into the ultimate to try and come down. There's lots of rotations coming in from both sides here. Lots of damage onto the solo laner, but he's just able to sustain it back up. I don't know if this is the target you want to look at elsewhere. The members are running away. Won't be too much of a fight in the jungle as I thought there would be. No real damage. I mean, look at Krusty's health. It didn't even look like he took any damage. He was getting looked at that entire time. But Opwa just doesn't care. Now we can see I Try You Mad is here to try and do some damage. So the Ganesh ult comes out as well. Kaldr's good boys. They really want this chase. They really want this fight. They're just not able to find something too impactful. Twisted Fire Angel is here though. This Agni has a lot of damage. Frenzy popped though by the Otters. They're going to try and turn this back around. Where did Dolo go? Guzzy just deletes him with that Kraken, and now the damage is turning around in the opposite direction. It is time to leave if you're the Kaldr's good boys, but can you make it out? Trouble for Twisted Fire Angel, trapped between four, deleted by Guzzy. A delayed double kill for the mid laner of the Otters, and Kaldr's good boys might have overstayed their welcome on that chase.
Unfortunately, they really wanted that fight. They really wanted to get a pick. I think that they were hoping they could maybe get the au point before the team rotated back in after they saw everyone backing up, but just weren't able to do anything. In fact, the fight went so long that Poseidon and au point got to ult twice in that fight, both of them. And I know that they have cooldown, but they both got to ult twice in that fight at the very beginning and at the very end. So a crazy long fight that unfortunately did not go the way of the Kaldr's good boys, and I've kind of set Cyberpunk Otters kind of back up for the third Fire Giant the game, because the first one was at 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
Still not enhanced, by the way. Third one gonna spawn. Still not enhanced. This game is just messing with everything I know about Smite. We had the early Fire Giant, the T2 that was dead and then wasn't dead and then was dead and then wasn't dead, the late Rage pickup on the Thanatos. Like, I don't even know what to expect from what's going to happen in the rest of this game. I might as well not know anything about Smite.
Yeah, I actually, is this League of Legends? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what MOBA I'm watching, because being able to pick up a Fire Giant in 12 minutes and 20 seconds, I've never seen it. In SPL, in comp, in my day-to-day, my whole world's been shaken by the teamwork and the crazy plays coming out from Cyberpunk Otters. Gotta give it to them.
Well, they are dancing around, getting set up around this next Fire Giant that has respawned. Beacon, though, going to be picked up quickly here by the Otters. No one from Kaldr's good boys wants to fight that out, and Daddy Neptune needs to be a little bit careful. 1v2ing under the tower. Does do a good amount of damage, but takes an equivalent amount in return. It's going to be about this next Fire Giant that could shift things in their favor. Dolo was up in the air. Dolo lands on top of the Alpaw, but again, I don't know if that's the person you want to look at. Krusty's just turns that kill back around. It was the Alpaw ult and the River's Rebuke that were used to secure it, and now the blink needed for Daddy Neptune to make it out. Still being chased, though. This Poseidon is fast. Guzzy is trying to catch up, but not going to be able to do so now. The target shifts towards the jungle, as that's a good stun. Lots of damage coming out. The Kraken does hit, and Krusty's will get another kill onto Twisted Fire Angel. Ganesh will end up falling to Guzzy as well. And now Hard Stepdad on the run. This Hachiman does a lot of damage, but isn't too tanky. Diving underneath the tower, the Aegis is good to at least prolong his life, and it's enough to turn around the kill. Hard Stepdad says, not in my house. You don't dive my Phoenix. At least turns one back around, but Cyberpunk Otters, they're looking at this Fire Giant.
Really good pickup from the Hachiman. That's going to help a lot, because even if they are able to secure this fire, that means that Ravana will not have it. But besides that, a really tough fight for the Kaldr's good boys. Just was not able to find what they wanted. Thanatos once again going back in. But now we see the Kakulin doing the exact same thing.
Just trying to be a nuisance in that Fire Giant pen. Wasn't able to steal it and can't make it out. Daddy Neptune falls to Tyler 2K. And this could be going from bad to worse if you're Kaldr's good boys. That Titan is going to be pushing down your right lane with a team full of Fire Giants. Everyone but the Raven going to have that available. But, you know, like I said, I don't know anything about this game. Cyberpunk Otters, they're going to back. They're going to reset, spend their gold, and live to fight another day.
Yeah, probably spending gold because we're still at the 25-minute
True.
mark. So
Yeah.
items on the side of Cyberpunk Otters are still being picked up. People are still finishing builds, even though we've taken 3 fire giants and cleaned up all the towers at 25 minutes. It's just I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of my answer for this game one. Um,
This is Bizarro World Smite. This is just Bizarro World Smite. I don't know what else to call it. This is crazy.
kind of crazy, but what the Kaldr's Good Boys? I think what they need to do right now is just like I feel like they have a pretty solid comp to defend. Agni with bombs, Ganesha ult, Thanatos can come from any angle and hopefully land on someone that's not the Aqua.
Yes,
Um,
please.
but so I do think they still have some ways to combat this because we're at the 26-minute mark. But I think it's gonna take a lot of ducks being in the row. You know, the ducks in the
Mm-hmm.
row. I'm gonna keep saying that this whole game. Ducks in a row. They just need to find that engage on the person they actually want.
Well, here's their shot. The left side Phoenix is getting deleted, but they're trying to take this fight. The River Butte comes out to split things up, but the shell is the answer back. Lots of damage. Dolo gets up into the air, but is low health. Where are you going to land? It's an execute onto Sparked Out, but immediately gets hit by the Kraken and is deleted 1-for-1. A 4-man Agni stun. Huge, but the bird still ends up falling, and the chase is still on. Twisted Fire Angel is doing everything they can to keep this game alive, and will at least stop this team from stepping up into the throne room quite yet. But the Otters gonna look towards this mid Phoenix. Wow, that was a lot of damage onto you, Mad Yet. And in the back line is this Kakulin trying to be disruptive, trying to force them away. Is pretty tanky, not taking too much damage. It looks like, at least for the moment, the Cyberpunk Otters are gonna have to rethink about what's happening. I feel like Twisted Fire Angel did so much to save that game just then.
Crazy, insane 4-man bomb stun. Stuff that you want to see from your Agni player all the time. You're like, why is this not my Agni? You know, so really good as I was talking about, really good defense, and it came from the Agni. I'm seeing the potential of an insane team if they could just find who they actually want. If they could just find the Poseidon, if they could just find Tyler on this Anor, I think that would really set them up to be able to take a decent fight. But it's tough when you're facing down, you know, you got the Ravana on your face, you got a Kraken that just deletes you. You actually come down from the sky and then you see heaven again. It's inverse. It's tough, but I definitely think that they have potential.
Yeah, I'm a little interested. I wish we could have seen the picks and bans because, Poseidon been a counter to Thanatos for a long time in Smite. I'm wondering if the Poseidon was picked up after the Thanatos was locked in or the other way around. But I have good news, Snips. I have good news. The Rage that was picked up by Dolo on the Thanatos, we have 1 stack. We're getting there.
And that only means 3 more stacks to glory. You know what I'm saying? This is a glass half full kind of situation, right? You just look at the positives. You got that first stack. You were able to kill the emoji with the execute. It was looking really good, and then a shark came out from the ground, and you died. So it'd be like that. Oh my gosh, his health bar, it's gone.
That was another 3 or 4-man stun coming out from Twisted Fire Angel. Not enough to save the life of his support, but the damage that they have, it was like the captain was not tanky at all. He's built full tank on Ganesh, and he was just deleted. And that, especially with Daddy Neptune on that left-hand side, pushing out those waves with the teleport in hand, has allowed the Cyberpunk Otter squad to set up around this FG and start to pull it. And guess what? We finally reached the 30-minute mark. This is finally enhanced Fire Giant, which makes it all the more important. And Kaldr's Good Boys can't step up to get in on it. Otters pick themselves up this first EFG of the game, and now Kaldr's Good Boys on the run need to make it back to their base, need to have a defense here.
Unfortunately, we are officially at the EFG mark. We are at the do or die mark. We are at the if your team dies, you just lose the game mark, right? Which for the Colders Good Boys is kind of actually good, no pun intended. As if they're able to, wipe this team in this fantasy world that I'm living in, then they could potentially just win the game with these crazy long death timers. But on the other hand, you're facing a full team with EFG. So pros and cons there.
Yeah, definitely going to be hard for this squad to try and defend here, but they've put up some decent defenses so far, so I'm interested to see how this is going to work. Looks like a 4-1 split, maybe a 3-2 split for the Otters, but this could be the go button. The frenzy is popped. The River's Rebuke comes out. It's answered back by the Dharmic Pillars, but that bird is evaporating. Lots of damage coming out of Twisted Fire Angel, though, and the right side bird is still alive. The mid bird, though, cannot be said the same for. It will end up falling. And that left side bird has respawned, but very low health. Right bird falls as well. And Cyberpunk Otters haven't lost anybody yet, still have good, healthy health bars. And they're walking over to this left lane. They're going to take this left side Phoenix as well, or at least attempt to. Twisted Fire Angels here, though, don't counteract the damage. Good beads, Aegis, but not in time, actually. Still barely able to live. Has to run away now. All three birds down. Good impale onto Daddy Neptune. And this could be trouble if you're the Calder's Good Boys. Dolo trying to go for the hero play, but can't find it. Guzzy gets another pick there. I mean, the Otters just walk in here and they just have a 5v3 advantage in the throne room. They have EFG, but it's a 3-man stun out of Twisted Fire Angel trying anything to keep themselves in this game. The Dark Pillars comes out, but it's not enough. The Titan will fall, and Cyberpunk Otters will go up 1-0 in this Kane set.
Just crazy plays on both sides, right? We're seeing 4-man stuns coming out from Twisted Fire Angel. We're seeing rage being built on the Thanatos, right? On the other side, we're seeing this Opwa get absolutely dove on and come out with more health. I don't know what's going on. 12-minute and 20-second Fire Giant. I can't. That's it. Game one. Peace. Roll credits.
Yeah, pretty much. That is an insane way to start off this set. I cannot wait to see where it goes. If Calder's Good Boys are going to be able to bounce back and push us to a game 3, or if we're going to see the Cyberpunk Otters take the 2-0 sweep here with all the playoff implications on the line. It's going to be interesting to find out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 2 in just a few moments. Good boys. If you missed game 1, it was a doozy. You missed out. The Cyberpunk Otters got a 12-minute and 20-second Fire Giant. They kind of set the tone for the whole game, because how does that not? We saw the Calder's Good Boys have a lot of good moments on the defense, but they were just never fully able to recover from that happening. Heading into picks and bans here for game number 2, I am still Dr. Shrew, joined by Snips with Deacon on the Spectator. And Snips, what do this Calder squad need to do to kind of switch things up? They've given themselves second pick here in the draft. Is there anything you're wanting to see? Maybe that Opwa ban?
And I'll sign ban, but definitely one of them as we see it come out. Fantastic. That was step 1 to winning game 2. Get the Opwa out, get the Mama out, Poseidon coming out too. Great. So we're already leagues above the draft from game 1. I really want to see potentially a more consistent maybe play style coming out from Dolo on this jungle. He went Thanatos last game if you didn't see it, and went a very spicy build. Golden Blade into Jotuns into Rage. So I'm interested to see if he has more tricks up his sleeve. Maybe he needs to be in the kitchen a little bit longer, maybe cook that soup a little bit more before dishing out. We also see the Ganesha coming out and a Chernobog snap pick from the side of Cyberpunk Otters.
I mean, if Chernobog's up and available, you grab Chernobog. Just so much global presence and the ability to just box clear. This god has got it all. Definitely a very good pick, but it's answered back by the On Her. We just saw Tyler 2K pilot it to great success in game 1. Now going to switch sides, go into the hands of Hard Stepdad. And our ADCs are just locked and loaded already to go. I mean, does Chernobog have that clear of an advantage? Do you feel like On Her can kind of fight into what Chernobog's going to be doing in that lane?
On her can definitely fight in the Chernobog. It's actually kind of his Achilles heel, I would say, in lane, right? Chernobog is going to be able to rotate way faster than Nora ever can, is able to provide a little bit more team utility with the circle stun instead of the kind of the knock up pin combo that Honora is going for, which is more, I would say, of like a selfish, like, I want to fight you 1v1 style. But I do think that it is a very good pick into the Chernobog, right? If you're going to fight the best ADC in the game, pick up the second best ADC in the game, right?
And you paired up with an Ares, and that is kill pressure, kill pressure, kill pressure over there in the dual lane. They are just going to be walking at you with an ungodly amount of damage at all phases of the game. This is just a terrifying dual lane, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely love this duo lane. Ares is a great support. The chains flame combo can do a lot of damage, and yes, you can chain more than once. Wink if you know who you are. But this combo, very dirty, very good. And I really want to see what they're going to try to answer back with on the side of Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, still lots left available and open. We've been seeing a lot of Cuckoo in the mid lane, and that is a Guzzy special. I was really surprised we didn't see it in game one, but the Poseidon was available, and I totally understand picking that up. Guzzy loves the Cuckoo pick, and it's just going to bait me. I set it all up. I was ready to look real smart here, Snips, but it's the Tiamat Sobek locked in instead.
Haven't seen a lot of Tiamat, but she has a lot of buttons, which means she automatically has a lot of pressure. We also see the Sobek coming out, really great support into the areas. Cut the scoop kind of is faster than the chain a little bit, so if you're able to just like hit that button, get him flipped up behind you, could be really good. But also could flip an Ares into your whole team to get an easy ult. So you got to be careful with that. And we also see a Chalk coming out on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys.
Well, I'm going to give everybody a little sneak peek of what we were talking about off air. You were talking about a kind of a spicy chalk build with some hydras, some damage. Interested to see if we'll see something like that, or if this would be more just a standard build coming out of Daddy Neptune over there in that solo lane. Assuming the chalk goes to that solo lane, we'll have to wait and find out. Bans in the second phase coming through. Thor and Robin taken off the board by the Kaldr's Good Boys, taking away the pick that we saw I Try You Mad yet playing in game one. I definitely like seeing that. Well, it's the Ratatosker and the Raijin banned away by the Cyberpunk Otters.
A lot of junglers being banned out. Maman, Thor, Ravana, Rat. So I think definitely both teams are taking shots at the junglers on both sides, making sure that they have to go a little bit deeper into their god pool, which makes sense. You never want a jungler on a confident god that they like. It's scary. It's not a good time for anyone involved except for that jungler. So I like what I see. And Janice coming out on the side of Calder's Good Boys. I really like that pickup. You literally take your team wherever you want to with through space and time. Lots of peel for themselves in the sense of dropping the portal, making people get knocked up. Lots of damage. So really good mid laner to take into Tiamat. Kind of can just outrange her a little bit. Can kind of stay away from what she wants to do, which is land all of her abilities and then jump in and land all of her abilities. So really good pickup going to Twisted Fire Angel, I presume.
Yeah, and then I feel like you mentioned it a bit there. Being able to rotate the team around can match some of the global presence that Chernobog is going to be able to have. A little bit slower, a little bit different, but still global presence all the same. And the secure for things like objectives, Giannis definitely going to be able to outsecure a pick like Tiamat. So when it comes to these possibly early fire giants like we saw in game one, could be something to look out for. The Surtur and the Morgan is the lock in here for the Cyberpunk Otters. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. I mean, is this the Morgan jungle? I haven't seen that in a while.
I is the Morgan jungle so spicy, so full of potential. Can literally turn into a Chernobog to do extra damage. Can turn into a Tiamat to do extra damage, and can turn into a Suda too. do extra damage. So I really like this pickup. I hope it's going into jungle, but we could see it going solo
Solo? Hmm.
potentially. Maybe a Surtur in the jungle lane, but I would much prefer to see this Morgan. I think that would be sick. And we're seeing Basset come out on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys. I really like Basset. A really safe god. Is able to do a ton of damage. The ultimate, being able to just scoop somebody up and take them wherever you kind of want them to go. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I'm interested to see. I think that this team comp's definitely a little bit more easier to pilot maybe than the last one. So
Hmm.
potentially Coldest Good Boys could, start cooking.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they have a very well-rounded comp. It's going to be a lot to me, in my opinion, on the side of the Otters. On I Try You Mad Yet on this Morgan pick. It is the spiciest pick on the team, but it has such high potential, right? You mentioned all the good targets on their own team to transform into, but you could transform into an Ares, pull in the entirety of the enemy team, transform into a Giannis, and port your team around. That secure issue that I mentioned, you know, around objectives doesn't really exist if you can just become a Giannis yourself. There's a lot of potential for this pick in the jungle. It's just going to be a matter of if it can be piloted well enough to kind of even out some of the advantages that this good boy squad might have.
For sure. As we get here, I'm expecting to see very standard stuff. I want to see what the chalk builds. It would be very fun to see something spicy come out from the chalk. But since we're seeing a good old fashioned warrior v warrior, I would hope that he goes, the standard, maybe breastplate, something like that to get going, get that cooldown, something like that. Definitely interesting to see what's going to happen in this game. Hopefully, no 12-minute and 20-second fire giant
What do you
takes,
mean? Hopefully
but
there is. I love it.
kind of melted my brain last game. Didn't really know. It's kind of like we crescendoed at the very beginning. Didn't
Yeah.
really know where to go from there. Um,
That game peaked in high school, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
and stayed. Literally became the principal of that high school.
Yeah,
um,
I'm interested to see where this goes. I didn't really realize until you pointed out this is just warrior v warrior in the soul, and we're in a mage solo meta, and it was kind of what you mentioned before game one. A lot of the meta picks got banned away, and we're here with some comfort picks. Surtur Chalk, not at all what I would call, top tier solo laners at the moment, but gods that have been in the game for, quite some time when you're the Chalk, or Surtur for at least quite a while. The comfort could really come into play here. Both of them lane bullies, both of them gods that fall off hard once you get towards that late game, such early game gods. Which one do you think is going to have an advantage here in game number two?
I think Surtur has some really good sustain with his passive and the ability to just stun somebody out, kind of stop what the chalk wants to do by getting in and swirling around and hitting you with axes. So I definitely think the Suitor, just because of, power creep, I think he's going to have a little bit more of an edge in the early game. Also, being able to get out of situations with going up into the super mega death fireball. So I'm going to give it to the Suitor, but I'm definitely not counting out the Chalk. Chalk has a ton of damage that just comes from nowhere, and then he ults your face, and then you're dead. So I think it's going to be a really explosive solo lane, especially if junglers are going over there.
You know what? I am never going to call Surtur alt end of days again. And it's going to be super mega fireball or whatever you said. I'm going to have to look up the VOD because that is the perfect name for it.
Yeah, it's just super mega death fireball, just raining
Yeah.
down, just hitting you in the face. It's a good time for nobody but the Zerter.
It is an interesting alt though, because once if you don't immediately find something when you land, you're just there. There is no other escape for a god like Surtur. So you have to be careful where you want to land. But you asked for, some normalcy with the solo lane warrior v warrior bluestone into tier 1 of breastplate for both. Pretty standard stuff over here in this lane. We're just going to see some classic warrior boxing happening.
Yeah, pretty much as vanilla as you can get. But we see an explosive fight starting in the left lane already.
Oh, low health for the Ares. The chain is off the mark. The body blocks, though, are good for the moment, but not enough. Sparked out. We'll get first blood on the Sobek. Can't body block that. A great pluck sets up the kill, and Sparked out will secure it himself.
Crazy engage in that duo lane. Kind of seeing some crazier engage in the mid lane. Just immediately picking up that first blood, sub 1 minute. I do believe that Sobek Pluck was just there when it needed to be. Almost was able to take the Anor too, because Anor was trying to body block for the Ares. So almost was super tough on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys. Was able to keep it alive. The Anor's still going, hasn't died yet. But what a great start for Cyberpunk Otters, at least in this duo lane.
Especially against a lane that has so much kill potential, and another pluck comes through. If Sparked out can continue to hit these, could be absolutely devastating. A good impale will negate any further aggression over there in the duo lane for the time being. But that's exactly what you want to see if you're the Otters. Using that momentum from game one to try and pull themselves an early lead here in game number 2.
Yeah, really good. Uh, really want to see them kind of capitalize on this. Would love to see as I'm literally talking about it, the Morgan is coming in for a potential gank.
Oh no, the captain under pressure again. This poor Ares just nowhere to go. Gonna try and buy as much time as possible, dashing away. Makes it around the corner, but through the wall. The Morgan will pick up yet another kill. Both onto captain, though. And if you were gonna have someone fall twice this early, it would be your support. But the beads were too late for the on. Her hard stepdad has the leap, luckily, to get away for the moment. But again, just low health, low mana. Turning through those pots already. This is not the start you would have wanted, but here's the rotation in from the Good Boys jungler. This Bastet does have a decent amount of damage, but not quite enough, it seems, in the early game to deal with what Sobek has. So unable to turn anything back around. The Otters are just using this dual lane pressure that I thought the Good Boys would have.
Yeah, but almost I think that's the best way to do it, right? You're looking at the Kaldr's Good Boys duel lane, you're like, wow, that's a lot of pressure. They're going to be able to do a lot with that, and they're kind of just shutting it down. Sobek landing almost every pluck so far. I think he's missed one off screen from seeing the icons. So just really good disruption coming out from him, and the Morgan also coming over to make sure they can pick up a second kill on the areas, kind of putting a nail into the coffin of this area's early game, which is really good for the side of the Cyberpunk Otters. So really good. Kaldr's Good Boys, I need to see it. That ward finally came up on that side, so hopefully that's going to help them out a little bit more. But Morgan could go invisible. I want to see a deeper ward, maybe closer to the gold pit, because they're not going to expect that. The pluck seemed to be coming out, and he still gets it.
But he is low himself this time. Sparked out needs to be careful. Goes underneath, lurking in the waters, but that doesn't stop the damage. And the captain says, I'll take one for myself. Thank you very much. Answering back. Now 1 and 2 on the Ares. And, you know, these early kills, they are impactful, but they're not end all be all. End of days or super massive fireball goes off, but that's the Chalk who's the one in trouble. Dashes to it, but gets killed by your own ultimate. Daddy Neptune dropping there to the Morgan, and now even more damage. That I don't even know what that must feel like. If that was real life, someone turns into you and then uses your own things against you, it's gotta be, it feels bad.
Yeah, just turns into you and sucker punches you with your own fist. That's gotta feel pretty tough for Daddy Neptune. Almost gets out, but the try was just ready for that juke back towards the tower, transforms in the chalk as you already saw, and seals the deal for a kill on the Daddy Neptune. Really good job. I love that the ult's coming out from the Morgan. That's exactly what I want. I love the spice, and I love that the spice is cooking right now. Getting the stuff on both sides of the map, setting themselves up really nicely for the middle game.
Pressure now answered back, though, as Daddy Neptune does get an ult on to Krusty's, but no real threat there, at least quite yet. Krusty's is still taking this fight, taking a little bit of poke, but this is solo lane. I'm getting baited by the health bars right now. No kill potential over here for sure, but there is kill potential here in the jungle, and Sparked Out will fall for the second time again here in this game. And both of these supports just getting focused out with mirrored slash lines, 1, 2, and 1 for them both.
Apparently the name of the game is just to kill supports, and it's working for both teams. Really good ultimate coming out from Dolo to snatch up the Sobek and bring him to 3 members of the Kaldr's Good Boys like a present with a bow on top.
When you mentioned that you like seeing I Try You Man yet use that Morgan alt, and I have to agree, but it's on such a long cooldown, still not back up yet after that rotation over towards the solo lane. But that is what I was going to point out. The Chronos Pendant, first overall, I feel like we see Doom Orb, most of the time getting used here, but we're going to hold that thought because there's a 3-man rotation towards this purple buff. Up into the air goes the Chernobog, Living Nightmare, trying to find a place to land, and will choose to go towards the solo lane, but the ult was prepared from Daddy Neptune. Not going to have the damage to do anything with it, but at least, getting some more damage, getting those stats boosted from that rotation. Purple buff, though, successfully invaded Kaldr's Good Boys. They wanted that buff. They got that buff.
Good job getting the ultimate out of Chernobog. It will eventually come back up, but anytime you can make the Cherno ult defensively, it's really good. It's just like making a Thanatos ult defensively, or Surtur, or anyone else that goes up into the sky. You never want them to be full health coming down on your head like a Mario Goomba stomping on one of those turtles, right? You don't want that. So being able to get him low health and get him to the other side, but I'm going to hold that thought as potentially we see again coming out from the Morgan, gets spotted out, so she's going to walk back. But yeah, being able to take that ult away from them, not giving them the choice of being able to use that ult in the way they want that they want to, is always really good.
Yeah, definitely. Just getting any sort of resources you can from the enemy team. These plucks from Sparked Out, he just doesn't miss. And now aggression in, but here comes the pull attempt.
Misses
Gets both
both.
alts out and to try and immune that. The lurking in the water is going to do a little bit of damage, but not enough to find anything. And that pull from the Ares being down, that's another big resource that's not going to be on the table, but this time for the side of Kaldr's Good Boys.
Really good engages coming from the side of Cyberpunk. Otters was able to, both of them were able to get underneath the Ares thing. I don't think the ults were even necessary, although they were used. Just really good ult trading right now on both sides. I feel like they're trying to get something. They're trying to use those resources for something. As we see the Chernobog go in for this kill, and
oh, so close. Oh, that was actually the Morgan dashing in. Can't find the damage, and the tower shots are too much. Nothing Krusty's could do but watch as a kill goes the way of Daddy Neptune. Through space and time was used as well there just to get back into it, but now it's trouble for Krusty's. The Bastet damage just slightly. It's not going to be enough to get the job done. Good rotation from Sparked Out, but here comes the Ares. The chain lands, and the captain will clean up that kill in the solo lane. Great rotation in from both supports there. Just not enough that Sparked Out could do to save the life of their solo laner. Gonna look to try and get aggressive, but there's a tanky Ares. No real kill potential, except for here's the real Chernobog extending this fight. Living Nightmare over towards the solo lane. Gets the dash kill. How often do you see that? And now turning for more damage is Tyler 2K. Just barely not going to be able to get the kill on the Bastet. Action in the solo lane as tons of rotations come through.
the double Chernobog rotation. You don't see those very often. One from a jungler and one from the actual Chernobog. Unfortunately, did not pick up that first kill, but Tyler being able to come in and clean up the tank, which we thought was kind of just out of there for free after getting that chain flame kill onto the low health Surtur. So just blows back and forth. Nobody giving an inch in this game too. Does not like Kaldr's Good Boys do not want to give it up, do not want to get 2-0'd, and Cyberpunk Otters definitely want to nail the coffin, nail that into the coffin. So both teams are just going all out.
Yeah, definitely. This has been a very back and forth match. We're dead even on kills. We're dead even on gold as well. 10 minutes into this game, no one with a clear advantage. There's a little bit of XP leads across the board. Looks like it's in favor of the Kaldr's Good Boys when it comes to XP. Just able to farm that little bit better, it would seem, as the solo laners, again, just box each other. This is classic Smite. None of that mage solo. None of that stuff. This is just warrior v warrior, two bruisers beating each other up while trying to clear a wave.
Yep, and not a single one of them even expects a kill. They're just there to get wave and shake hands firmly with each other. But the Morgan comes in and maybe cleans something up.
Could be trouble for Daddy Neptune. Dashes to the axe, but the stun was not quite on the mark for I Try You Mad That, so that's going to allow the Chalk to just walk away. In the mid lane, though, the pluck lands again by Sparked Out, just on point with these time and time again. It's a little bit of damage onto Twisted Fire Angel, but not enough to be too scared. But who might be scared is Hard Stepdad on this on her, and with good reason. Tyler 2K will get his second kill of the game. 2-0-2 now on the Chernobog. Starting to get scary. If you're on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys, this ADC could become problematic. It looks like they might agree with it. Here comes the ult over the wall. Not quite gonna find the mark there. Is gonna continue this aggression, but nothing really doing over here. It was a good overall engagement from Tyler 2K.
Yeah, unfortunately, no ward set up on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys right there in that little encode. So Chernobog rotating back to his lane from getting that first kill, also long ago by the Fire Giant, just calmly walks in and autos the man down under his own tower. Unfortunate for a Hard Stepdad.
The chase is still on over here in the dual lane. The pull gonna try to pull someone in. Good use of the dash to get in the wall, and the lurking in the waters will mean no one gets pulled in by the Ares there. No real relic burn either. So we can see Tyler 2K still has that beads up and available. Is it team fights where we're going to start to see some more impactful Ares ult coming out of Decaptain? Is that just what we're waiting for here? Is the beacon is up?
Yeah, we're definitely waiting for it kind of later into the game. Right now, he's getting 1 beads per ult, maybe 2 beads per ult, and then waiting for his ult to come back up. But he's going to get more soon as he's rotating into these 4 and 5-man fights. Beacon kind of going the way of Kaldr's right now, but a quick dash in from Sobek trying to grab something. But I think they're going to let this go with Chernobog on the left side, maybe going for that T1 tower.
Seems like it is going to be the play. Beacon does go the way of Kaldr's Good Boys, but that tower is very low in the left lane. No one really nearby to defend it, and it will end up falling. Could be a little bit more of a fight. Dash in from Sparked Out, one of the few misses of the pluck there. Needs to be careful as that's a lot of damage from the on her, and is just living with a sliver of HP. The flames are ticking, but they're not enough to find the kill. Actually, it's the captain who ends up falling. This Sobek is just too tanky. That through space and time was close, but here comes the living nightmare. Here comes Tyler 2K with yet another 2 kills to add to his tally. 4-0-2 now. Yeah, you might have got the beacon if you're the Kaldr's Good Boys, but you lost a tower, you lost 3 kills, and you're about to lose a Gold Fury as well. The Otters answering back hard here.
Yeah, through space and time, unfortunately down, trying to get that Sobek cleanup right before. So unfortunately, no pressure to try and steal this Gold Fury on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys. Great 2-man stun coming out from I Try You to get their Sobek out of dodge, and was then able to turn into the Ares, picking up the once again killing somebody with their own god. It's gotta feel pretty tough on the side of Kaldr's Good Boys. Chalk dying to Chalk, and Ares dying to Ares with a quick rotation in from Tyler with that ultimate, able to get another 2 kills under his belt. 4-0-2 on the side of this ADC for the Cyberpunk Otters, putting on a great show against probably one of the best 1v1 ADCs in the game, Anor. It's a really good job coming out from them, just knowing their gods, knowing their comfort, and being able to utilize that to the best of their ability. Another pluck coming
Get this
out.
man off the Sobek, just setting up so much, but it's actually Guzzy who pays the price there. Pluck might not have mattered too much because that was a ton of damage coming out. The pluck lands onto the jungler, but Dolo able to just jump away there on the Bastet. Kaldr's Good Boys, they are fighting back into this time and time again. They might be 2K down 15 minutes into this. They're not playing like it. They're getting aggressive. They're looking for picks wherever they can. Pyromancer's up and available. I thought maybe they might go for it, but instead opting to just continue to farm up, get these items online, and push themselves further towards this late game.
Cyberpunk Otters doing a great job kind of staying in this lead, but if you actually look at the mid lane levels, Twisted Fire Angel is 3 levels on Guzzy right now on this Tiamat, just making sure that even if the team is having a tough time, this Yanis is not. 1-0-1 right now Again, 3 levels ahead of the mid laner. Highest level in the game right now, Chernobog just ticking over. So,
Yeah, that is
crazy.
definitely someone to keep an eye on. Twisted Fire Angel is looking good on this Giannis pick. Again, Daddy Neptune getting looked at. The rotation in from I Try You Must. I Try You Mad. I'm just going to call him Mad Yet. It's too long of a name. I'm not doing that again.
Mad
He,
yet?
yeah, maybe I'm mad yet. Wow. No, but that he's really been focusing out this solo lane as Pyromancer gets looked at here, but here's the Giannis. Here's the highest level in the game, but not able to get there in time. So Cyberpunk Otters will pick up another neutral objective here. Pick up that runic bomb going in the pocket of the Sobek. So they'll have that for when they start any possible sieging that they might want to do. Might need to be careful in the mid lane here because Sparked Out lands another pluck. Trying to find something. The No Escape will get the pull in onto the Tiamat. Didn't have the CC immunity up and available and is taking a lot of damage now. Can't get away from Dolo as Guzzy falls. Sparked Out low as well, but will be able to dash away. Can the same be said for Tyler 2K, who's doing quite a bit of damage in return? Here comes the Morgan as well. The Aegis is good to buy a lot of time. The Portal does so as well. That is not the real Chalk ulting over there, but Sparked Out will get one kill. You Mad will get another kill. She's going back and forth here. 3 dead on either side as Hard Stepdad had rotated in as well, and we'll get the pick onto Tyler 2K to end things here, or at least maybe a little bit of a 1v1 happening now. The knockup is good, the damage is good, the beads prolong the life of this jungler, and the blink will end up saving it, just barely making it out. That was absolute chaos in the mid lane, Snips. I'm gonna just leave it to you to break it down.
So the fight starts out really, really well for the side of Kaldr's Good Boys, actually able to pick up the Tiamat and put him at the doorstep of the T1 tower, kind of just signing the death warrant for Guzzy. Fortunately, though, iTry was able to get in there with the Chalk, all able to turn into the enemy Chalk, and was able to get the ultimate, was able to do enough that Tyler was able to come in and clean up a lot, but on the back of that, Honor comes in to clean up the other 2, so making it a 3 for 3 in this mid lane 4v4 brawl that kind of took shape.
Yeah, these teams they're here to fight now. We're 18 minutes in. Primal Fury getting looked at by the Otters. Do the Calder's Good Boys have an answer? They are seemingly aware of it, hovering around this side of the map. They might look towards a steal, and they will be able to steal it away. I assume that had to have been Twisted Fire Angel taking that one off the board. No ultimate available, just got it with an unstable vortex. They'll take that Primal Fury, just chomp, chomp, chomp right away from the Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, Yanis damage is insane. Just because he doesn't have the ult up does not mean he's not going to chunk you with the unstable vortex, probably doing a crap ton of damage right now. Was able to secure that gold probably very easily, especially since the majority of the Cyberpunk Otters was kind of off to the side, trying to keep other people off of the gold Fury. Just wasn't able to get it done. Cyberpunk Otters, though, still up 2K even after the gold Fury steal. Pretty good XP levels. ADC's winning. Jungler's winning. Solo is the same. But again, we're still seeing a 3-level deficit in the mid lane between Twisted Fire Angel and Guzzy.
Living Nightmare into the mid lane here. Get away from the aggression. The through space and time off the mark. And Tyler 2K doesn't miss those autos. Getting the kill on the level 18 Giannis is really huge for their team. Now level 19 on this Chernobog. Absolutely swinging at 6-1-4.
Really good shutdown for Chernobog right here. It's always a good feeling when you're able to ult up into the sky, leaving people that were trying to kill you. Go to the other side of the map and pick yourself up a nice mid lane kill.
Not if you're the mid laner. I'll tell
I
you
mean,
from
not
experience.
if you're the mid. Yeah, not if you're the mid laner. T1
Still
looking to be forced down right now.
He's taking quite a bit of poke, but won't be able to get it yet. It's so low, not really worth dying over. It'll just take a couple autos from Tyler. A couple otters from Tyler. A misspeak on there. I don't know.
If he was going to shoot anything out of his cannon, it would be Otters, right?
They're getting aggressive in the mid lane. The no escape. Gonna try to pull people back in. The CC immunity is good though. And that's a lot of damage onto the captain, who will end up falling to Guzzy. The 3 space and time trying to clip someone. And Dolo will get the kill onto Tyler. Another good pluck to keep them away, but that unstable vortex does a lot. In the backline, though, is the rumble tumble team of jungle and solo trying to get a pick onto the on her, but able to get away from that one. Giannis in a lot of trouble, gets knocked away from the portal. Crusties will get a kill onto Hard Stepdad, but the Giannis is too slippery, and Twisted Fire Angel will live for the time being. Dolo needs to be careful underneath his T1 tower, and we'll back up, but hey, there's a Surtur underneath your tier 2. You still have to be careful. Will be able to walk away. The tier 1 in mid does fall, and now Cyberpunk Otters backing up to, I would say, a Pyromancer, but we saw a 12-minute Fire Giant, so they could pull whatever they wanted.
I do think it's going to be a Pyro just because Tyler is currently on the gray screen. Incredible plays coming out from the Cyberpunk Autos. Insane damage to shred the Ares once again, taking him out of the fight pretty early, being able to pick up that T1 pretty effortlessly. Almost was able to come in on the Basset as Surtur made his way around the T2 as well. Wasn't able to pick it up, but that's okay because they're walking away with a lot of gold and some kills.
They definitely are. They find themselves now around 3,200 or so gold in the lead, up in kills, but 22 minutes in, that's not game over. If you're Kaldr's good boys, you still have the ability to fight into this without a doubt. And especially with the double prophetic, we've seen Deacon hover it a couple times here. Prophetic for the Ares and prophetic for Daddy Neptune on the chalk. Once those get stacked, the tankiness that these two are going to have is going to just skyrocket. And Kaldr's good boys, they don't think they're out of this either. They're going to pull this Oni Fury now, trying to sneak one away. It's just Tyler nearby. The frenzy is popped and the Fury is gone before the Chronobot can even get in towards the pit. So at least the Kaldr's good boys, they are finding what they can here on this map.
Definitely not out of it by any means. Was able to secure that pretty easily. No one from the side of Cyberpunk Otters was up far enough to kind of do anything about it. Tyler didn't want to go in, which is understandable when, you know, there's 4 people on the Gold Fury, 3 people. Makes sense. But they're kind of opting for this Fire Giant pull on the right side.
Cyberpunk Otters enjoy just pulling a Fire Giant because they can, and they're going to go for it. But Kaldr's good boys are well aware of it. Daddy Neptune doing what he can to disrupt in the backline. Does a lot of damage, but is taking quite a bit in return. Dolo's here as well to help out with this, but that's a lot of damage onto the chalk. Daddy Neptune on the run, but can't make it away from the damage from Guzzy, and will end up falling. All the while, Krusty's trying to zone away the remaining members of the squad. Low health bar for Twisted Fire Angel means they have to get out. But Krusty's cannot make it away. The no escape gonna try and pull in more, but it's low health for the captain, who falls to Guzzy as well. Back and forth this fight around the Fire Giant, and the damage from the Morgan gets the bees out. One more auto will do it, and Hard Stepdad will be able to pick that up, but Guzzy gets a double kill. It's a double kill back though for Hard Stepdad. The 3 space and time comes through, and the chase might be on for the remaining members. They don't want to give up this chase yet. They're trying to find Guzzy, trying to get revenge for those 2 kills that he got around that pit, but will be able to jump away, and that should spell the end of the fight. Back and forth once again, 3 for 3.
Neither team kind of being able to just make that decisive play to kind of snowball the fight into whatever they want. You saw both solo laners kind of take the same option. One kind of pushing Kaldr's back up towards their T2 tower in mid. The other one fighting them by the blue buff on the side of the Cyberpunk Otters. Neither one has good luck from those plays. Both die to the other side of their opponent, kind of making it this weird 4v4 from the very start, and then making it a 3v3, and then making it a 2v2, as we've already seen this game. So no one's wanting to give anything up. No one wants to give a single inch. If you're dying, like if I'm dying, you're dying with me, you know? That's kind of the name of the game right now at the 25-minute mark in game 2.
800 gold between these two teams 25 minutes in is insane. And the Stone of Gaia for Krusty's, not an item we see all too often, but An item that I think is really fun. I've always loved this item. Do you feel like there's enough knock-up grabs pulls to make it worthwhile?
I do. You know, you got the obviously the chalk ult, the Basset ult counts as a grab. I do believe the Yanis portal counts as a knockup, the Ares grab with the ultimate, and then of course the Honora that's both pushing you and knocking you up. So if you were ever going to build Stone of Gaia, it would be now, as we're looking at the Pyromancer.
Low for the pyro. Guzzy unable to get that one stolen away, but Living Nightmare was used to get into the right lane at the same time. Could be trouble for Daddy Neptune. His health bar getting lower and lower, but the Titans are clashing in the mid lane. The chalk is slippery and is making it away from this grouping over on this side, but you're going to come out in the wrong side of territory. Still needs to be careful unless they just decide to let him back. We'll be able to get that back off, get away. The Titan more the focus here in the mid lane. Do you want to see the Otters push with this Titan towards the Phoenix or just use it as a distraction?
I think right now their only play is they've already kind of committed to this. Their whole team kind of shifted to the mid lane if accidentally chasing the chalk. But now that you're here, definitely try to go for the tier 2, which it is burning really quickly.
Still alive for the moment to captain as well. Low but alive. The tower should end up falling here, but the Aegis comes out from Tyler 2K, gets hit by the chalk ult. The unstable vortex is too much, and the Chernobog will end up falling. So that's a big kill for the side of the Kaldr's good boys. They won't be able to find the Morgan. Good self portal there, in my opinion, to just make sure you don't get stunned should you mad yet decided to have stayed there, but we had the bird's eye view. We knew that they were out of there on that Morgan. But the pick onto Tyler is enough to give the Calders the confidence to move towards this fire giant. They're burning it quickly, already at half HP. Guzzy now going to be aware of it, now going to be able to comms it out to his team, but it is getting low. If the Cyberpunk Otters are going to do anything, it has to be now, and it's not quick enough. Guzzy jumps in, but can't quite find the steal and will pay for it with his life. Now, I Try You Mad on the run, has that invisibility to make it out, and Fire Giant around the waist of all 5 members of the Calder's Good Boys. They're looking to siege this right-hand lane.
Yeah, just unfortunate timing for Tyler. Gets picked up by the chalk ult and then put down by the Yanis damage from Unstable Vortex, giving them all the confidence that they need, all the hope and dreams that they would want to go and get this Fire Giant, which they're able to get successfully. Now doing the standardized tower sweep right to left this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're 20 minutes into the game. This is a normal time to get Fire Giant to do the normal tower sweep thing. We're just still a bit shaken up from that 12-minute Fire Giant we saw in game 1.
Crazy. Just really good plays coming out. I love that Kaldr's is just not out. They're never out. They never think that they're gonna lose. They're not playing like they're not even playing like game 1 happened, right? This is game 1 for them, right? They're trying. They're gonna get it. They get the T2. They're stepping up for this Phoenix siege. They do pick up the Surtur for a second. Beads used.
Now they're going to look to get even more aggressive. The chalk out comes out, does land on a couple, good amount of damage. The frenzies pop, and this could mean they're getting really aggressive. No escape coming out from the Morgan, though. Does pull into lots of damage onto the captain, who will end up falling, but Dolo immediately answers back with a pick onto You Mad Yet. And the siege might just be negated here, but Daddy Neptune hasn't gotten that memo. Still going and gets plucked underneath the Phoenix, but Hard Stepdad will delete Sparked out, punishing him for yet another good pluck onto this team. The bird, though, didn't take any real damage. Calder's Good Boys backing up for the time being. Every time I say that, they decide, nope, we're going in. Tyler 2K under a lot of pressure, but will be able to make it out for the moment. Can the same be said for Dolo? No. Guzzy will get credit for that kill, just barely overstaying their welcome. All 3 Phoenixes still standing, but still a good amount of gold in the pockets of the Calders.
Yeah, really good tower sweep on the side of Kaldr's. Was unfortunately not able to succeed in that Phoenix grab. Just too much damage coming out. Great ultimate coming out from Mad Yet on the Ares transformation. Did lose his life for it, but was able to kind of stop the Fire Phoenix. Wow, the Phoenix push for the side of Kaldr's Good Boys.
You're just giving high-res ideas for future
Absolutely.
seasons. The Phoenixes count as like a little baby Fire Giant buff when you kill them.
Don't give high-res ideas. They don't need them.
Hey, you're the one giving the ideas.
Uh, I shouldn't be giving them ideas either. They definitely don't need my ideas.
Well, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Snips, but I would say that it's kind of Calder's good boys who are in the driver's seat now after that fire giant like siege. Even if they didn't get any birds, they still have FG around 3 members. It seems like they're going to pick up this pyromancer. They've swept all the towers. I mean, what do you want to see them do next? Is it just kind of dance around for the next minute 40 until the next fire giant comes up, or is there another siege potential?
Oof. Through time and space, barely missing everybody. That was a little sketchy there. I really want to see them kind of like this. So they've shifted the momentum, right? So they did lose game one, even though they're acting like, even though they're playing like a game one never happened. And for the first maybe like 15 minutes of this game, it was kind of looking shaky, kind of in the pockets of Cyberpunk Otters. But I feel like they've shifted the momentum as they just easily pick up this Oni Fury or this Primal Fury. You don't even have to talk about it. They already got it. Now it's trying to start this fight in the side of Cyberpunk Otters.
Good pluck from Sparked out, but the no escape will pull in one, and it's low. Well, it was low health bars. I don't know what I'm saying. This fight is going back and forth. Chalk has to get away here. Sparked out low on the Sobek, but is very tanky as Dolo jumps back away. Guzzy doing damage over the wall, but the Desert Fury does a lot to the front line of this Cyberpunk Otters squad. In the backline, though, the Morgan doing a lot of work. Has that ultimate back up again. The through space and time not going to find anything, but Daddy Neptune will, getting 1 kill, a second kill as Sparked out drops as well. That's a 2 for 0. And now Calder's good boys, they don't have FG anymore, but they do have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, really good fight from the Basset coming in behind everybody to clean up. Going to try to do it again. Chernobog having to Aegis. Still looking for the chase.
The Phoenix, Hard Stepdad will get credit for the kill. The Phoenix will fall thanks to the help of a runic bomb. And that is exactly what these good boys were looking for to pick up. They will grab it. And they will just decide to back up. I gotta say, every time I say good boys, I'm like, I'm not gonna call this team that again.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. You know, you're like Kaldr's good,
Yeah.
boys, Kaldr's boys.
KGB.
You know,
Oh,
KGB.
jeez.
I think either way, you were kind of losing tonight. You know.
Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the same can't be said for the team whose name is troublesome as they pick up this next fire giant, which will be enhanced. Nothing that Cyberpunk Otters can do to grab that one or even contest it with that mid-bird being down. And so that's EFG around the waist of all 5 members of this Chaos Side team.
Yeah, that momentum shifted right around that first fire giant, and Calder's good boys are just running away now, almost 10k gold ahead of their opponent. EFG around the waist of all 5 members, and they're looking for that right side Phoenix.
They are setting up for it over here. The defense from the Otters is going to need to be pretty staunch because they at least have pushed out the wave in mid. But here's the go button. Blink in, and the no escape onto just the Surtur. Gets the beads out, but that is 1 level of safety down. The Sobek uses the lurking in the water as well and takes a lot of damage. There are members of the Cyberpunk Otters here trying to get some flank angles going on this defense, but Daddy Neptune will dash in, just get a little bit more poke. Calders are taking their time on this. The wave is here now, and they are going to step up. Here's the frenzy pop, and the Phoenix starts to take a bit of damage, but they might be looking for the fight a bit more. I take that back. The Phoenix is just gone. Dolo will dash back to safety like only a Bastet can, and Tyler 2K forced up into the air. But where do you land in this position? Decides to fall down, and Twister Fire Angel just eats him up. But the Morgan will answer back with a big pick onto the Giannis, but falls immediately in trade to the captain. This could be exactly what the Calder squad were looking for. They step into the throne room. They start to burn down this Titan. It's at half HP, but Krusty's will get a pick onto Dolo. Do they have the damage to burn this Titan down as Guzzy gets another pick? The Titan with a sliver of HP left. Can they burn it? They can! And Calder's good boys will eke out a fight there in the throne room to give them the game 2 win. And you asked for it earlier, Snips. We're going to a game 3.
Game 3, baby! Calder's good boys just doing such a good job. Was finally able to win one fight, which led into another win, and which led into another win, which led into a Titan down. on the side of Cyberpunk Otters, tying it up.
What a game two. That was just so different than what we saw in game one. It was much more standard
Very
smite.
standard.
Yeah, but there was so many big moments. I feel like Tyler 2K on this Chernobog really showed why the pick is so dangerous, even if they weren't able to kind of make the game go their way. We just saw great plays from a lot of members on both sides.
Yeah, super good plays coming out, especially like Tyler getting triple kills. Uh Freaking Mad Yet transforming into everybody, most of the chalk just like blasting people. Like really good stuff coming out from both sides. I think that there were just some bad team fight calls made kind of towards the end there. 26, 27-minute mark around that first fire giant that was super contested. And it kind of just snowballed from there, right? Like they wipe them, they take all the towers. You think that they're gonna get pushed back off of that Phoenix, but then Cyberpunk Otters kind of trickle in one by one into these fights, and people just kept getting picked, and then suddenly they're at your Titan, and then your Titan's dead. You know,
Is is Chalk good? 31,000 damage, 123,000 damage mitigated. Is it Daddy Neptune or is it
I
Chalk?
I think that Chalk and Surtur beat each other up a lot. That's what I'm gonna say. Maybe that's
Fair,
copium.
fair.
Maybe I'm just
You
maybe I
sad
just hate
ADC.
solo. Yeah, I'm just a sad ADC that never wants to see a warrior ever again. But Chalk did do good damage.
Well, we'll see if you get your wish in game three or if we'll have some more warriors in that solo lane. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the important game three between the Cyberpunk Otters and their opponents, the Kaldr's Good Boys, in just a few moments. It's time for game three here in this Canes division matchup between the Cyberpunk Otters and the Kaldr's Good Boys. If you missed game one and two, it was very back and forth. Game one had a 12-minute fire giant, just going to keep bringing that up because of how crazy it was. And Cyberpunk Otters kind of ran the show. And then in game two, Kaldr's Good Boys struggled a little bit in the early game, but then just slowly but surely pushed themselves back in until they were the ones running the show. And we find ourselves 1-1 here going into game three. Dr. True with Snips and Deacon on the spectator. Bans almost all the way through here. Snips, what are your thoughts going into this important game three?
Uh, I definitely like the bands that are coming out. Obviously, the Chernobog was pretty scary last game. Let's just get that out. Morgan Le Fay is a little interesting to me. I haven't seen a Morgan Le Fay come out from anyone yet. So probably just banning meta, Athena meta, Apois, Baba, Mama. So, all of this right now is just meta bans. Meta bans into comfort picks is what I'm expecting.
So what we're seeing, Daddy Neptune gonna take that chalk back for themselves, prioritizing it enough to have it first pick overall. Kind of crazy to me when things like the On Her and the Poseidon are up and available, but I guess just really wanting to make sure that Daddy Neptune has that pick. A good answer back though, as I mentioned, On Her Poseidon locked in for Kaldr's Good Boys to round out their top two. That to me puts a lot of pressure on this chalk pick to perform again.
For sure. That's a ton of damage coming out from your backline already on the side of Cyberpunk Otters. It's going to be quite an uphill battle for Chalk to not only get in, but kind of survive as he tries to disrupt the team. Kraken going to be doing a lot of damage, knocking him up. Anor, knock up, pin, ultimate, 8 shots of just pure damage. We do see an Itsunami coming out. Interesting pick coming out from Hard Stepdad. Not really too big of a meta pick right now, but this could potentially be just a super comfort pick for Hard Stepdad.
Yeah, I don't mind the pick, but again, in the same way that Chalk kind of feels, why are you grabbing it so early? I feel like are you really worried about the Tsunami getting banned away or taken away? I feel like you could definitely pick that up later in the draft, but they want to make sure they have these comfort picks. So they will lock that in for themselves, taking their time on the third pick to round out their top three. And it's going to be the Bacchus. This is just an interesting draft altogether coming through. How are you feeling about their top three?
Definitely interesting. I'm gonna have to assume this is 100% just like super top tier comfort, right? Bacchus, probably one of my top played supports. I really like him, but he definitely has some counters, Ares being one of them. Poseidon also kind of being a struggle to get into. You're getting krakened, you're getting whirlpooled, you're not able to jump if he gets the cripple underneath of you. So just I really want to see how this performs. I'm hoping that this is just again, like I said, just the super comfort Bacchus pick that's gonna do work because he knows exactly what Bacchus does and how to do it.
Well, we've talked a lot about dual lane pressure over the course of these two games, and kill pressure definitely going the way of this on her Ares. But lane pressure, I feel like nobody keeps up with an Itsunami, and you pair it up with a Bacchus. There's going to be a lot of pressure going both ways as we head into the second phase of picks and bans here, Mr. ADC main Snips. Who do you feel like has the advantage in that dual lane?
I think it still goes to the Anor. Itsunami is able to clear waves pretty fast, but until she gets a couple items online, until she's able to really like fend for herself, it's gonna be tough going against an Anor, especially because if you dash away and you try to get away, there is a delay. So it gives the Anor time to either ult you a bunch or get closer to you or leap towards you. Itsunami needs a little bit of setup, and Anor doesn't need as much because he's providing his own setup, if that makes sense. So I want to give it to the Anor right now, but I've seen some great Itsunami players that just know what they're doing, know how to clear wave, keep themselves safe. It's kind of like to me, it's kind of like playing a different Jang Wei, right? Like your whole objective is to kind of just stay back, clear waves, and then when you get to late game, you're just cleave critting through the entire team, right? Which is exactly what Jangwei wants to kind of do too. You get those big crit autos going online at the end of the game. So it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic shifts, especially going against an Ares and an Aura, which just has so much kill potential if the Ares lands the chain is able to keep the Itsunami locked down. But we also see a Scylla coming out, which I think is a really good pickup. Scylla kind of being a pseudo Janus, able to get over walls, and they're picking up the Awilix, so there's no way that the Scylla can be countered. So I am liking the back half of this comp for uh Kaldr's Good Boys. I'm just not sold yet on the duo lane.
Yeah, interesting draft overall. I agree. I kind of like it. I feel like, especially if Twisted Fire Angel, who's been playing well this whole set, can kind of work to set themselves up. This could be a very scary draft. But to me, it's all about what the Otters are going to lock in last year. Anytime you have a Naja locked in with your squad in that solo lane, the setup is always going to be there. And it could be for the Kraken, could be for a Desert Fury, could be for those two things, because the Jormungandr is what's getting hovered here. I was kind of hoping for a Ra and to see this Poseidon go solo, but it seems like Krusties might want to pick up Yorm. I feel like everybody's still recovering from the Yorm solo meta.
Oof, there it is.
Oh, there we go. That is exactly what I was hoping to see. Not only is this Guzzy's signature pick in the Cuckoo, but it's also just the same as the searing pain from a Raw. A Spirit of the Nine Winds is easy to land when you know someone's going to drop in a specific spot at a specific time, and the damage you can do to a single target with that combination, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty much game over, lights out for any single person, maybe besides the Chalk and Bacchus if they are healthy enough. If they are not, they will also be taking a gray screen nap if that combo gets landed. So, really scary comp coming out from the side of Cyberpunk Otters. Really good damage, really good setup, just lots of opportunity to catch somebody out. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Coulter's kind of like fights into this. Um Again, Scylla's able to get away from Cucullin pretty easily. So that might be a saving grace for them. Also, like Itsunami, does really good about clearing waves, is going to be really crucial if they get pushed back, if they have to defend certain objectives, stuff like that. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this team kind of shapes up. Aurelix is usually a really, really good god. Unfortunately, right now we're only seeing one leap on the side of Cyberpunk Otters, which is on the Anor. So if you're going to grab somebody with the ult, I guess that would be the target to grab anyway. But there needs to be a little bit of setup from the side of Kaldr's Good Boys to really let that Aurelix shine through. So we'll just have to wait and see if they're able to do that for her, for Dolo.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how both of these teams kind of play things out with. I mean, we've talked about it before. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this is the 4th and 6th seed with playoff implications on the line here to figure out, how all of that's going to work when it comes to seeding, when it comes to even getting into the playoffs. This is an important set for both of these teams, and this is game 3, so it's all coming down to this moment. I feel like we're seeing lots of comfort on both sides. Uh, we've talked about the comfort picks that must be coming out for the side of Kaldr's Good Boys. Guzzy definitely pulling out the comfort pick in the Cuckoo as well. There's a lot that could happen in this game, and I'm going to ask you the hard question here, Snips. Who do you think as the comp that's going to get them this set victory? Is Kaldr's Good Boys going to get a little mini reverse sweep happening here, or is Cyberpunk Otters going to finally put this set to bed?
I think right now, just going off of looking at God pictures, I'm going to give it to Cyberpunk Otters. I think that this is going to be a really good setup game for them if they're able to land what they want to land, especially with the Nizal grab. So I definitely am giving it to them for now. But we definitely saw Kaldr's Good Boy put up really good fights in both game 1 and was able to kind of reverse the game into their favor and take it in game 2. So anything can happen between these two teams. But for right now, I'm going to say like 51-49 in favor of Cyberpunk Otters.
Those are some intensely close odds between these two teams. I think I have to agree. I feel like this could go in any direction. It's all going to be about play on field. It's all going to be about execution to see who can come out on top. And as buffs spawn here and we get kicked off in game number 3, we have just a bit of a moment to take a deep breath and relax before the chaos that I know is going to come based off what games 1 and 2 were like. And take a look at some of these builds. Immediately, my eye going towards what we're seeing starter wise coming out of Sparked Out on this Ares. It's the War Flag. We haven't seen all set yet. Do you like this on an Ares in particular?
I do really like War Flag. I think it's aggressive. I think it definitely shows what you want to do, which kind of be in people's faces. I usually actually take War Flag on the Bacchus, just because of the stats it provides, and again, just kind of letting you like walk up, do what you want to do. So we'll see how it plays with Ares. Ares a little bit less mobile than the Bacchus, but maybe it's still a really good pickup. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. I feel like, wow, look at the health bars in mid lane, both the mid and jungler on either side, respectively, taken pretty low. Must have been quite a skirmish. But here's the sash, the tornado doing a lot of damage. But the feather step will get first blood. Guzzy, though, immediately answers back with a kill onto Dolo. And I feel like that just encapsulates this entire set so far. First blood and then second blood within seconds of each other.
Definitely, I think if anything could sum up how these two teams have been playing against each other all night, that would be it. A quick feather step from Dolo to get over a lot of the damage, able to take out Mad Yet before anything was able to happen to him. He did get cleaned up by Guzzy in the end, but was just able to do so much work, able to dodge so much damage, and still get a kill. Really good job, I would say, for Dolo, kind of putting himself in a awkward situation, being so close to their tower.
Still level 2 here from Dolo, trying to get aggressive in the solo lane this time, but it's a low health bar for Daddy Neptune. Needs to be careful from any damage that couldn't come out from this Poseidon, but it doesn't look like that damage is going to be there, and the chase is still good. Another good knockup coming out, and the feather step pretty much an execute at this point in the game, and Daddy Neptune will eat up that kill. It's just constant aggression coming out from Dolo, looking completely different on this Wheelish than the past 2 picks. I gotta say, this has to just be comfort.
Yeah, really, really good knowledge of what to do there. Just keeping the Poseidon in. Daddy Neptune also doing a good job of kind of baiting. Good sash coming in.
Oh, the beads are good though to get out for the time being. Heart Stepdad lives with a sliver of HP. These junglers are just non-stop. There is action in every lane with their rotations.
Junglers are on a high-speed collision course to ending this game one way or the other. Like I was saying, really good setup on the side, on that right side. Chalk just baiting enough. Feather Step coming out several times, able to put Poseidon down. Nizam, though, almost being able to pick up that it's Nami, putting him at 1. But we see Chalk also super low, gonna get away. But this is what we come to expect from the Soul Lane, right? You pick a warrior because you want to have fun, and then the game starts, and you see that you're going up against a mage, and you go, "Oh, I won't be having fun this game." And that is kind of what's happening right now when the jungler's not there to kind of help out, secure the kill. We're seeing the Chalk kind of running from just insane Poseidon damage.
Especially since no magical defense at the start went for the tier 1 breastplate, getting some Fizz-D online immediately will pivot and pick up tier 2 of Genjis or Onis, whatever direction they decide to go. And so a good understanding that you need that magical protection over there against the likes of Krusties on this Poseidon. I'm interested to see where this jungle pressure continues because it's been everywhere so far. I mean, where do you want to see these junglers rotate towards?
I I just really love side lane ganking. I think that it's a little bit tougher. I think it can get a little bit more muddled in the middle lane, but I'll have to wait and see. Nope, actually, just off the mark, unable to get the knockup, which probably would have sealed the deal. Would have been able to use his ult after that. But now we're seeing another fight break out. I think he's okay. I'm gonna keep talking. Mid lane is a little muddled, so it's hard to get 2v2 fights that are clean. As you saw, literally like first blood for second blood happening in the mid lane. So I definitely like those side lane calls. Niza liking what I'm saying, taking Bacchus up into the air.
And comes down into the Desert Fury. Nothing to do there for the captain. Sent back to base the hard way. Another kill in the pocket of the Cyberpunk Otters, and another kill with the help of a rotation from the jungle lane. The jungle lane, that doesn't exist. From the jungler, just seems to be the theme of this game. Now these high octane junglers going to meet in the jungle and then just pass each other, not wanting to fight. They want to fight everybody in the lobby except for their opponent.
A handshake has been dealt across the table. They've decided they're not going to touch each other. Instead, they're going to see who gets more kills in their lanes first, right?
Seems that should be the case. Again, it's just always a low health bar for Daddy Neptune, but looking to get aggressive. Knows he has the help of Dolo on the way, who jumps over, gets the pull, but no, not the pull, just the knockup. Beads good to save the life. Wait, it's a Chaos Archer? The whirlpool damage had not come through yet. The captain will jump under the tower and get the kill as everybody was just stunned by the fact that a minion got the kill there as the tick was just not quick enough to find the damage. Spirit of the Nine Winds comes through off the mark, and Bacchus, the captain, will just jump away underneath the tier 1 tower. I can't believe we saw that PvE kill happen just there.
Cyberpunk Otters kind of getting like mentally boomed right there as an archer says, no, 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 this is my kill. Takes it from the clutches of Krusty's Nuts. Just unfortunately unable to secure it with the whirlpool. Wasn't able to come out in time. The archer arrow is faster than the god's whirlpool. We've seen it here first, folks.
Yeah, it would seem so. I mean, normally lane minions, they end up going 0-1, right? If they had a slash line. That lane minion went 1-1 and died a legend getting that kill there. While we were stunned as well by what was happening, Purple Buff was invaded by You Mad Yet on the Naja, and Daddy Neptune getting aggressive, has a low health Ares, but it's a 1v2, still wanting to take it though. Doing a decent amount of damage, but it's a 1v3. Here comes the Naja, taking him up into the Windfire. Wheels down, you land. Kraken comes out, and wow, he lived for longer than I thought he was, but does end up still falling. Hard to take a 1v3 even as a Chalk this early in the game.
For sure. Kind of makes your breath stop though, just for a second when you come down, you're not immediately dead. You're like, wow, do I get to do something now? Unfortunately, was not the case, but just for a second, we saw glimmers of hope there.
Well, and getting more aggressive is you mad yet in the mid lane trying to find something going. You know, and I appreciate that. I appreciate him rotating into mid here. It's both junglers getting aggressive in the mid lane, getting the beads out of the cuckoo, and Guzzy will end up falling. They might look for a little bit more, but decide to back off, not trying to overstep for you mad yet. You mentioned how you shouldn't go to the mid lane. Well, as a mid lane main, kind of sad that junglers shouldn't go there.
It's just as an ADC main, I want the pressure. I want the help. I want to be in the backpack. Sipping on my little sippy cup, just throwing out autos, right? So I'm always gonna be a little biased, but absolutely you're right. Great plays coming out. This Awilix just feels so confident, doing exactly what they want to do, coming in, getting kills, getting out, doing exactly what they were born to do. So good job for Dolo kind of showing up in this game 3.
Yeah, definitely working well on this Awelish pick. Actually, might look to try and set something up here. I don't know if the Naja is aware of what's happening. Beads come out from the Itsunami. The ult is good as well, and there's a lot of damage on to you mad yet, but is trying to make their way out. Can't get away from Dolo though, and that's another kill going the way of this Awelish. 3-1-1 so far here in this game.
Really good combos just coming out. It's so much CC in such a short period of time. It's really tough to get away. Bacchus burp, Itsunami silence from her ult. Then you got Aeolix coming in with the feather step, keeping you in place while she's jumping over you. Just tons of damage. And as they're trying to get away, the knockup lands to seal the deal. So really good stuff coming out from Dolo, kind of just being everywhere all at once, all the time.
Is trying to get aggressive over here, but will use the beats just to get away from the chains. Doesn't have it though now for the no escape, and lands into a lot of trouble, but has the jump and will just be able to walk away. I was worried there, but I guess Wheelish is just too slippery and loses the beads, but gets out with their life.
Yeah, interesting beads coming out there, I guess, trying to just get away from the chains to give themselves the opportunity to leap, but not even necessary as another fight kind of breaks out in the duo lane. Nothing crazy happening. Some abilities missed on both sides. So everyone's going to kind of walk away there with some shame on their head, of course. But we see the Scylla ult coming
I'm
in
a
the mid lane.
monster is not gonna find them. I got too scared about the fact that the Naja was there. Will land into a world of trouble now. Windfire Wheels will take them up. Here comes the Spirit of the Nine Winds, and that is the kill for Guzzy. Expect to see that over and over again this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you don't feel confident in landing the ult, just use the CC immunity to get out, right? Like just walk back to tower, kind of reset, give yourself a break. As this Bacchus is trying to 1v solo this Ares.
1v solo. I'm gonna coin that as Dolo falls in the right lane. You mad yet? Getting credit for that one as the Kraken came out as well. Daddy Neptune needs to be careful. As I say that, dashes forward aggressively, but understands this chalk well enough to know that they are safe on the right side. The same can't be said for the Awelish, though.
No, not at all. The Awilix, unfortunately, gets taken out 3-2-1. Still doing really good work across the map, though. Not going to sell themselves short. As we're kind of entering this mid game, it's kind of going the way of Cyberpunk right now, right? 1,000 up, almost 2,000. Just from XP farming, just from kind of seeing what they can across the board. But 5-5, anyone's game. Everyone's kind of gone back to this XP farming, getting wards set up, stuff like that. So I feel like we're entering another lull, as this shock tries to prove me wrong in every single way, and they all tower dive.
But the Kraken is too much. Krusty's will end up falling, but gets a kill in return, and the kill goes on to the support. All the while, the call was Gold Fury for the Cyberpunk Otters. They're going to look to pick this one up, and with Beacon up and available, there's nothing the Kaldr's good boys are going to be able to do. Gold Fury goes the way of the Otters, and they're going to look to contest out this Beacon as well. What a sash coming in, but the ult is off the mark. I'm a monster used defensively, and the Beacon was not even picked up by Kaldr's good boys, so they lose out on their solo laner. They lose out on the Gold Fury, and they might lose out on the Beacon as well.
Yeah, tough calls coming out from Kaldr's Good Boys. I don't think they knew what they wanted to do, especially with Poseidon getting like triple dove and was still able to pull a kill out from that. I just don't think they really knew what to do after the fact, which gave Cyberpunk Otters just plenty of time to go over to gold, 4-man strong, pick it up, and then push Scylla off the beacon. So really good plays coming out, realizing that even though they can't save the Poseidon over and right, they can get a ton of gold, XP, and pressure in the left.
Twisted Fire Angel going to be a little scared, I would imagine. No beads, no alt for the next few moments here. Gonna have to play a little bit safer, but not a whole lot on the map. Pyromancer not up, Cold Fury not up, Beacon just dropped, so that's not available either. You could have a little bit of a breathing room. When it comes to the objectives, Kraken and Spirit of the Nine Winds on the side of the Cyberpunk Otters. I mean, what do you do if you're Calder's Good Boys to try and keep yourselves in this objective fight with two good secures on the other side?
I think it's just going to come down to the team fight. It's going to come down to picking people. It's going to come down to like, you can't pull the objective. And if you do, you're only pulling it to like 75%, and then you're immediately attacking whoever you want to attack. I don't think that there's a world where they pick up an objective knowing that there's 5 strong on the other side and they feel confident that they can actually secure it. So I think it's definitely going to come down to good team fights coming out from Coldest Good Boys, making sure that they can pick the people that they need to, at least the Poseidon, at least the Kokolin. But I know it's looking really rough for this Tsunami in the left lane, able to get out by the hair of her chinny chin chin. A little scary though. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's definitely going to come down to team fights. I don't think you're able to do this without being able to pick somebody.
Well, objective shred is the potential for the Cyberpunk Otters, but I'm a Monster is very good secure as well. Maybe that's what you do. You just send Twisted Fire Angel up to get through both secures on the other side and say thank you for the free Pyromancer. A great play coming out of the mid laner there.
Immediately proving me wrong. Just making sure that everything that I say is incorrect tonight, and I totally love it. I'm the Monster, just faster than the Kraken. Spirit of the Nines was not up either, so unable to like double confirm on the side of Cyberpunk Otters, giving Colders Good Boys just enough time and just the right ult to take it themselves.
Yeah, that is something to keep your eye on. If Twisted Fire can continue to make plays like that, objectives might be closer than we might have thought. No Aegis available right now for Hard Stepdad. Had to use that in securing of the purple buff. Needs to be careful because guess who's here? You mad yet as the Windfire wheels, and that is a dead Tsunami. No follow-up needed. And you mad yet will pick up yet another kill in this game. Now 3, 2, and 3 on the Naja.
Yeah, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time, especially without those beads. Anora also able to pick up the T1 due to the lack of an Tsunami being there. Just really, really good, I would say, micro plays coming out from Cyberpunk Otters, just being exactly where they need to be, making those really quick decision calls that are giving them the opportunity to now go for this Primal Fury that's spawning. Only one member showing up so far on the side of Coldest Good Boys.
A little bit more rotations coming through, but is it going to be enough? Good knock up onto Guzzy there and a lot of damage onto the Cuckoo. Has to use the Spirit of the Nine Winds defensively, and it's just not enough. Dolo will pick up another kill in this pit. And now the chase is on for the low health Bacchus as DeCampton tries to make his way out of this fight towards the mid lane and will be able to safely do so. Actually turning back around, I'm a Monster. Big flick there off the mark, but Twisted Fire Angel will be able to make it out as this fight continues. Leaping in is the On Her. They want to take this fight to the Cyberpunk Otters, and maybe that's for a good reason. Dolo will get popped by Tyler 2K on the On Her. Now the Otters can just safely step back towards this Primal Fury and reset.
Even without the ult, even without Kraken or the 9 wins, it doesn't matter. That Sash is still a death sentence for Dolo, unable to get away as the Anora is able to auto attack him down as the Sash comes through. So really good plays coming out. Primal not picked up though from either team. So Primal is still up and available to whoever decides to take that risk again as we kind of enter this neutral state.
Well, my question is 17 minutes into this game, the next team that goes for Primal, I mean, could the other team just go for Fire? Are we at that point of the game yet?
Kind of. I mean, absolutely. We're seeing third items coming out for the ADCs. To me, that's kind of when you're able to start looking at these objectives and know that you're doing enough damage that it's not going to take 2 minutes and 45 seconds to take it. Like a 12-minute and 20-second fire giant.
I'm
We're
getting a little
seeing.
bit of bullet time here coming out like it's the Matrix. We get some slow motion action on the beacon fight, kind of making me want to talk in slow motion, but I'm not going to, as the beacon is getting charged up by the Cyberpunk Otters here. Lots of zoning coming out from the Ares. Hey, we have a lot of time to look at what's happening in this fight. I kind of like this. As it doesn't look like too many people are going to be able to step up. Now we head back into the normal time here. Beads used by the Itsunami, but the beacon will go the way of the Otters, as well as a kill onto the captain as Krusty scoops that one up for themselves. Kraken good enough to find that kill.
Time might have slowed down, but not for the Cyberpunk Otters as they just continue to steamroll forward, able to pick up the beacon, now setting themselves up for this fight into the Chalk, who's just 1v4ing right now.
And doing pretty well out of it as well. Has some backup on the right hand side. They're now starting to take a little bit more damage, but still has half of their HP remaining. And again, Primal Fury doesn't end up dropping quite yet. It still might, as Cyberpunk Otters are in the area, but I don't know if they're confident enough to pull it, because there are members of Kaldr's Good Boys nearby in the area. Still Daddy Neptune on this chalk, stepping forward, but will back now. Does not have the TP available, so we'll have to walk back in the slow way as Primal Fury is finally picked up here by the Cyberpunk Otters. Does anybody from this Kaldr squad want to step in to try and take it away? It looks like they do. Scylla steps forward. Need to be careful though. I'm a Monster comes out, but can't quite get in time. Hits the ground. Has to use the beads to get away from the no escape. And that's a lot of damage onto Dolo. Guzzy will get credit for that kill. Primal Fury still up and available. Hasn't been taken yet as the Naja ult is off the mark. And the fight continues again to Captain. So low. And again, Daddy Neptune 1v4ing and making it look easy here as this fight continues here in the jungle. No blood spilt, really. No Primal Fury killed, and the Sash just barely up the mark. Not enough damage with the ring toss either. And somehow everybody's still living except for Sparked Out, who finally falls here to Twisted Angel. An extended engagement eventually ends with a 1-for-1 trade.
And Primal Fury still not picked up by either team. Both teams just wanting to fight over and over again. Hard Stepdad, unfortunately, being the victim of some PvE gameplay that was going on the side of Cyberpunk Otters. Takes a little bit too much damage and takes a one-way trip back to the fountain.
Pyromancer might not be as lucky as Primal Fury, and is going to get dropped by the Cyberpunk Otters. Primal Fury's the real victor of this game. Regardless what happens, it's getting to live this whole time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Primal Fury's like 3-0 right now. Like,
yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to keep track of the PvE slash lines.
yeah, minions are 1-1 right now, which is already insane. Like that, all by itself.
We are 20, almost 21 minutes into this game, and it is neck and neck. It is a 5k lead for the Cyberpunk Otters, but that doesn't really seem to be slowing down this Kaldr's Good Boy squad as they are getting aggressive in the solo lane. Krusty's in a lot of trouble, has the Kraken, but not going to do too much damage. It will be enough, though, to buy the space needed to get away very fast on this Poseidon. And here, the Primal Fury getting looked at again, solo now by Tyler 2K. No one's really on the way for Kaldr's Good Boys. Is this finally going to be the moment where the Primal Fury falls? This poor neutral objective gonna become 0-1.
Wow. Primal Fury's feeding. What can I say? It had one job and it couldn't do it.
Reported.
Good pickup though. Tyler saying, I'm done with this. I'm going to get this objective. I don't care who comes, my team, their team. Oni Fury looking for a 3-1. Doesn't matter. I'm getting this. And he does. He's able to pick it up. But it's Nami in trouble again.
Uses the beats early, and that means the Windfire wheels will land and take the Tsunami into the air. Dolo will get a kill onto Tyler 2K, though, all the while. And now the junglers are left staring at each other in this lane. The Sash connects. The Feather Step has a lot of damage. And here comes the Bacchus to make it a not fair fight. Just a little bit more damage, and the ult will be there. The Captain gets the kill on to the Naja, but it's a blink in. Both supports now going to get into this, and Sparked Out will answer back. It was a 1v1 between the junglers, ends up with a 1v1 between the supports, both the ones getting credit for the kills.
The disrespect coming out from that Bacchus, though, not respecting the 1v1, a tradition long upheld by both the ADCs and mid laners of every game, obviously. Because who cares about winning when there's 1v1s to take? As Asilla almost 1v1s the Cucullin, unable to grab it, but is able to get away.
Wow.
Oh,
But the run back
no!
is the Ares. The chains are good, but the Aegis is better. Can Twisted make it out of here? Yes, for the time being, does manage to make it out, and it might be Sparked Out paying with their lives. It is. Sparked will fall into the hands of Hard Stepdad, and now the Poseidon's in trouble. Has to use the beast to try and get away. Taking a lot of damage, so the Aegis is used as well, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Hard Stepdad gets a double kill on the Itsunami, and this is just... I mean, this is just non-stop scrapping between these two teams. This is crazy.
Both teams have elected to now play the game mode called Arena.
Yeah.
And I love that both teams have decided this. You know, neither team is backing away from that. No split pushing. No, going off to grab XP. No. We are fighting, and we're getting fire. That's the call right now.
Guzzy in a world of pain, and Guzzy will end up falling. All the while, as you said, Fire getting looked at by the dual lane alone here for the Kaldr's squad. They do get some help now in the zone from Daddy Neptune is good, but watch out for Tyler 2K. Unable to get it with the Desert Fury, but that looked close. Definitely a 50-50. Fire Giant, though, around the waist of all 5 members of your Order side team. What are they going to be able to do with this, though? That's the question.
Definitely not a 12-minute Fire Giant that I will once again reinstate. So should be able to do a little bit more with this one. I'm expecting to see, especially that T1 get cleaned up in left. Possibly the T2s getting swept across the board if Cyberpunk Otters is not able to put up a defense. But right now it's looking like we're going for Pyro.
They're going to have a Titan pushing with them in that most important left lane. The Pyromancer is getting looked at. The Chalk Alt comes out, and Kaldrs will be able to pick that up. But on the left side of the map, the Captain in trouble. Uses the ult, uses the shell, uses the beads. And it's enough to make the Bacchus free and able to get out of there. That's big for this siege attempt that they could be going for here in the next couple minutes.
Lots of relics pulled from the Bacchus, though, so not going to have those up for this Titan fight. And it's not going to have this up for a little bit now. So, yes, like, you got the Nizar ult out. You weren't able to get the kill, but a lot of relics that will not be able to be used to help the Itsunami or any of the other teammates of the Bacchus.
Yeah, I mean, you Mad Yet has full CDR. So not going to be an issue in that regard when it comes to the ultimate. Already almost has it back up. Primal Fury about to be 0-2 here in this match as Desert Fury is used to confirm it, and it will be. Cyberpunk Otters will pick that one up for themselves. The Titans about to clash here in left lane, and all 5 members from both squads grouping up to get ready for this one.
Going to be an intense fight, although Fire Giant all around the waist of all 5 members of Kaldr is definitely going to give them an advantage in this fight, but we've definitely seen some crazier situations where Cyberpunk still comes out on top. So it's really anyone's fight, anyone's game right now. I definitely think they give up that T1. I don't think necessarily you need to throw away any ultimates yet. I think if anything, you'll fight at the T2, but we'll see.
Well, it looks like Kaldr's Good Boys wanting to get aggressive even before the T2, get some poke damage out, but the siege defense from this Otter squad got to be pretty good, right? With both of this, they're not even going to wait for the defense. They're blinking in with the no escape there. I'm a Monster will do a little bit of damage and get the CC immunity. That's a lot of damage onto the air. He's sparked out, but is tanky enough. Beads used by Tyler 2K there. The Titan has fallen. So if the Kaldr squad want to siege this T2, they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. And we see Dolo flanking around the side here, looking for an opportunity. But it seems like the call has been made. This Kaldr squad going to at least back up for the moment, though. Neptune Daddy has TP'd into this fight. Might look to get re-aggress here. Just going to try and get some poke damage out.
Good TP coming back out, resets up the engagement, resets up the siege that will be happening on this T2 as the fight kind of breaks out. Low health bars again on both sides. No one being able to find the mark yet as we draw closer to probably a very clustered fight around this T2.
That was Aegis coming out for hard stepdad, and the I'm a Monster not going to quite find the mark there. All the while, there's been a 1v1 happening in the jungle between Poseidon and a Wheelish. The Spirit of the Nine Winds hits, and where did Hard Stepdad go? Kills going back and forth here, as it ends up being a 2-for-1, and that tier 2 is still standing. The Kraken comes out, though. Good Aegis and beads from Twisted Fire Angel, and now it could be Poseidon who's in trouble. The Sash lands, though, but Twisted Fire Angel will grab that kill. A double kill for the Scylla. No Escape pulls back in Neptune, and he will end up falling to the hands of Tyler 2K. Now Dolo and Twisted Fire Angels, the only remaining members on the side of Kaldr's good boys. They had Fire Giant. They tried to siege that left lane. They were only able to get a T1.
Yeah, unfortunate siege and team fight around that T2. We saw the 1v1 happening off to the side, but it did not favor the side of Kaldr's good boys having the Awilix kind of play hokey pokey with the Poseidon, was unable to kind of do what she wanted to do, get in, get picks, which helped out a lot with the Cyberpunk Otters, able to clean it up and push them back, securing their T2 for right now. And Fire Giant's now down with it about to respawn on the map.
I love how close this game is. Game 1, Cyberpunk Otters definitely had it. Game 2, Kaldr's just were able to slowly but surely build themselves this lead. Now, game 3, right? Exactly around 1,000 gold between these two teams, which 29 minutes in doesn't equate to much, just a few wards here or there. This is anybody's game. And in a game 3 moment, you just kind of love to see that happening as the next Fire Giant dance is going to start to begin here. And unless we see something crazy happen, this Fire Giant's going to be enhanced by the time it gets taken.
For sure. I definitely don't see this Fire Giant being taken before 30 minutes as we've hit that 30-second threshold less now. Yes, as you were saying, it's all about passion now. It's all about focus. It's all about making the best play. As Kaldr's just pull it, Fire Giant at half health as a team fight's surely breaking out.
Daddy Neptune on the zone. The Spirit of the Nine Winds is early and just helps them burn it. I'm a Monster is still available. The Kraken comes out, but it was early as well. Kaldr's just get away with that and take the first EFG of the game. Daddy Neptune gets pulled in and gets deleted, but I'm sure he's feeling completely fine with that. But the rest of the team needs to make it out as well. There's the leap over the wall by DeCaptain. The chase is on, though. The sash is good, but the Bridwind proc, can you live through the Windfire wheels? Gonna land in a tornado. Gotta be taking enough. No, not gonna be the case. Both frontliners fall, but EFG still around the waist of the jungler and both backliners, with Pyromancer surely gonna go the way of the Otters. Who came out on top there?
Honestly, I think Kaldr's good boys come out on top, at least in the mental department. You know, you land Cuckoo's ult too early. You land Poseidon's ult too early. A Nor ult isn't there to help out. And what gets it? Not even I'm a Monster, I'm pretty sure. I think it did damage, then an auto attack or something came through right after. Like, literally, like, none of the secures that you would want. As, you know, we see Gold Fury go up 1-0 to that Cuckoo that did not land his ult on it. You know, unfortunately, you know, you throw everything you can at it and you still lose it. It's definitely a blow somewhere in the mentals of the Cyberpunk Otters. We're able to pick up a couple more kills, but honestly, the fact that all 3 carries of Kaldr's good boys, which is honestly only where you want it, right? Like, having fire on the support and the soul laner, it's nice. It's definitely like the cherry on top. It's a perk. Because they'll get sustain and other things from it. But now your ADC's chunking the towers and the phoenixes. Your mid laners chunking people with their damage abilities. The jungler gets to sustain and do a bunch of damage with that buff around them. Like it's just such a good buff to have on all of your carries, and all three of them have it. So as long as they play really, really smart, they don't accidentally lose their belts to, a Nizak coming out from around the corner. It's definitely happened to me. It's scary. I cry a little bit every single time. Um, then I think they're going to do really good stuff with this fire giant.
Well, they take the mid tier 2, but so much was taken by the Otters while they were getting ready to push down mid there. The Pyromancer, the Oni Fury, the Beacon, all going the way of the Cyberpunk Otters. But now this is the time where the Kaldr squad is grouped up, but that just means they're going to get pulled in by the Ares. Twisted gets a huge kill, though, onto you, Mad Yet to kick things off. Dolo gets another, and this could be trouble for the Otters now, as this Kaldr squad is charging forward towards this mid Phoenix. Two big picks going their way. They're going to slow it down now before they start to siege any sort of Phoenixes, as Guzzy gets some good damage off, but that was huge coming out of the mid laner for the Kalders.
Just the perfect chalk knockup into Scylla max range ult.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, Daddy Neptune does fall to a three-man fight in the mid lane, unable to get support from his team. But the perfect chalk ult into Scylla max range ult to just yeet somebody into the gray screen. Yeet them. Like absolutely send them flying. Really good damage, but the chase is on now for the rest of Kaldr's good boys.
They need to be careful here. They can't afford to drop too many more people. They will be able to make it away for the time being. They still have Fire Giant around the 3 carries, as we've mentioned before. But look at this. It's the Otters who are the one on the siege. They'll get the T2 in left, and they're still the ones being aggressive. They will decide to back up now, finally. If we didn't have the graphic and the belts in the game to show who had Fire Giant the whole time, I would have thought the Otters had it. They sweeped the neutral objectives. They got a T2 in left. They did so much for not having EFG there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Kaldr's good boys. Obviously, I'm not in the comms with them. It does feel like there was a little bit of a "what do we do next?" I don't think that they expected to get the Fire Giant. I don't think they expected for everyone on the side of Cyberpunk Otters to miss their secures and not get that Fire Giant, which it totally happens. It's stage fright, but I don't think they were able to capitalize with that Fire Giant. Cyberpunk Otters went, okay, we didn't get fire. Great. We're going to get every single objective on the map. Great. Now, they're still not out of their base. We know that. We're just going to go siege this T2, see what happens. And it works for them, right? So I think that Cyberpunk Otters were ready to do whatever they needed to do after the Fire Giant fell, whether to them or not. But now the Pyro is being picked up by them.
And they'll just take that one away. 4K now the lead for the Cyberpunk Otters as they begin to dance around this Fire Giant once again. Get your tap shoes out, because we definitely have a dance on our hands. A little bit of poke damage coming out from Guzzy. Both teams are here in force. It's just you, Mad Yet, who's still on the way to this little clash. And it looks like this is just going to be where we are for right now, because this next EFG could make or break the game for both teams. How do you want to see these teams play this out?
Honestly, I think Cyberpunk Otters has a surprising amount of poke between the Cucullin's Tornadoes and the Poseidon Whirlpools. So play it slow. Like, just keep chipping away at them. Anytime the Bacchus comes in, you have the Anora pushback, you have the Nizar sash. Like, you have so many tools that aren't even relics or ultimates that are going to keep people off of you. Just poke them. Like, and honestly, if you really want, I want to see Cyberpunk Otters kind of like fake it, like grab it and see what happens, because I really do think they have so much chip damage, they have so much surprise burst damage on the end of that they could really catch someone sleeping, and there would be a pick immediately on the side of Cyberpunk Otters. So that's what I want to see. For Kaldr's good boys, I think that they just need to be super duper patient. On the return hand, do not fall victim to walking through a corridor into a bunch of chip damage that you don't need to take. Like, if you're going to commit, you have to commit. Just like we saw at their Phoenix when the chalk ult into the Scylla ult. That's what I need to see from Kaldr's good boys, I think, if they want to be able to do this as they start the Fire Giant.
And they're burning it so quickly, already below half HP. Can anyone from Kaldr's get in here to disrupt? They can! They take it! They take the
Oh,
fire giant away again! And now they're gonna look to get out safely. Daddy Neptune will not be able to again, but neither will you mad yet. Kaldr's good boys just stealing everything from this Otters squad. They'll pull back in the Ares. The feather step damage is good, and Dolo will get a double kill. That's 2 down and a lost fire giant for the Cyberpunk Otters, and all they get is a chalk in return.
Calder's good boys did exactly what I needed them to do, which is they just absolutely full committed. They did not care. They saw the fire giant was below half. It wasn't even half. It was probably a quarter. And they were like, we don't care, we're in. Steals it and was able to continue the fight afterward. Really, really solid plays coming out from Golden Good Boy, saying that they are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. At one point, 6K lead for Cyberpunk Otters. It's gone. 1,500 at max.
Yeah, this is again, even in terms of gold, and we're late enough into the game that doesn't necessarily even matter as much anymore. This is about game state. This is about momentum. And right now, Kaldr's, they have this on their side. They'll take away the towers. Doesn't look like they're going to look to siege down the Phoenix quite yet, but they could go for a split here as the wave in mid is close by as well. That tier 2 and left still standing.
I think the Chalk is teleporting in. Yep, Chalk is now there as well. Really, really good. I would love to see a split here. I think that's the best thing that they can do, dealing with a Poseidon and a Cocoon. But he's gonna tell me no. The best option is to dump damage.
They are going in, but the Chalks are going to get taken up. Desert Fury comes out. Speaking of dumping damage, Daddy Neptune ate a lot, but Fire Angel responds. Krusty's responds again, though. That's Dolo and Neptune down on one side for just Tyler on the other. And look at that, Phoenix. A sliver of HP remaining will kind of, I got to say, that's just a purely successful defense coming out from the Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, like I was trying to say before they said no to my idea, I really wish that they had split just due to how much minion pressure they have on the side of Cyberpunk Otters. No minions getting in there. Like if they're gonna take a Phoenix, it will be through bloodshed. It will be like off the back of a support or the solo laner tanking that Phoenix. Minion's not making it in there, so I really wanted to see maybe the jungler split right, split left, maybe take that T2 over in the left lane, something else instead of committing all 5 members underneath. It's just too small of a space, right? You're playing right into the hands of Poseidon. You're playing right into the hands of Ares ult. You know, a Nor ult even going to do a ton of damage as this Poseidon is taking a 1v1 with the Bacchus. Not respected once again.
Oh, and this is problems for the captain. Gonna land in a world of trouble. The Kraken does a lot. The Naja ult, excuse me, does a lot. The Sash lands. The Pridwin is good. Can he somehow make it out of here? The captain putting on a clinic right now on how to live as a support in so much damage. And here comes the backup. The blink comes in, but Krusty still finds the fadeaway kill. And now Daddy Neptune is trying to turn things back around. Has the help from Dolo, who comes in. The Feather Step gets the kill. It's an answer back support for jungle so far. And here comes the squad from Kaldr's good boys. But this Poseidon is just so fast. And all the while, the Otters just pick up a Fury.
Really good kind of death trades on the side of Cyberpunk Otters. Every time they trade somebody, they're getting a fire. They're protecting Phoenix. They're getting gold. Like they're doing something with the death. So good job on them to kind of stem the bleeding, defend that mid lane Phoenix, and even push back out and get objectives again. Neither team, again, is giving up an inch. Every time someone gets advantage, the other team just pushes past their limits, takes him out, and resets the board. We're at 41 minutes, baby.
Yeah, this game 3 is definitely giving everything right now. Still, either team have the ability to go for it. And guess what? Another EFG is about to spawn. The captain up in 2 seconds will be able to make it in time. And we're going to dance again. It will be who can take this team fight again? Who can secure this objective again? And I don't know about you, Snips, but I'm eating this up.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, dude. It's as close as it can be. 41 minutes. Ares all coming out.
Chalk has to use the ult in return. No harm, no foul. Both frontliners expending that ult there, but the blink was also used by Sparked Out, so not going to have that engage tool around this Fire Giant. It did give them positional advantage, though, and so again, Kaldr's good boys are going to have to fight their way into this pit.
Good chains coming out from this Ares. I'm seeing multiple people get chains like every fight. Super good job spreading the cripple.
This is so just teetering on a knife's edge right now between both of these teams. This is just such a good match here on Frank's retirement home. This is exactly what you joined this league for, exactly what you're here to see. I absolutely love it as this dance just continues. I mean, I can't believe we're 42 minutes into this game. It's just been so chaotic, so crazy. It doesn't feel like that long has passed yet.
Absolutely not. It feels like a 20-minute game that's just kind of blurred by, and now here we are, and it still feels heavy like a 42-minute game. But every single play has just like sped time along. It's been a very good game from both teams. It's going to come down to just the best kind of chess play we can see from one of these teams.
That is kind of how it's feeling. We've been
Another
dancing
Ares
long
ult.
enough. No escape. Comes back up. Doesn't pull anybody, but gets the ult out from the Scylla. But now it could be trouble for multiple members as the damage is going both directions. Daddy Neptune is in the backline there. Aegis comes out from the on her to immune out the Scylla damage. And Daddy Neptune has to walk away from this. Poseidon is around the back. Needs to be careful. Blink in from the Wheelish, trying to turn something back around. The Kraken comes out and pops Dolo, and somehow Krusty's lips for just a little bit longer before Hard Stepdad cleans it up. Guzzy, though, gets a return kill onto the Captain. 2 for 1 so far. The Sash not going to be good enough. Neither is the Windfire Wheels. That is big cooldowns now off the board for the Cyberpunk Otters. The chase is still on. Harry's had the blink back up. We've been going at this for so long. The dash away from, but this is the Cyberpunk Otters with the advantage now around this fire pit.
Backs coming out though. I don't think Fire's going to get pulled right now. Instead, Pyro will be picked up as this shot kind of runs down the knees. Not going to grab it. That's okay though. Everything's kind of getting reset. Wards are getting bought again. People are going back. People are coming back from gray screen. So that is. Was it stolen?
No, that was, I just couldn't believe. Ares is full tank. That did so much damage. That was just a single crush. It just caught me off guard how squishy everybody is to Twisted Fire Angel now.
Yeah, Scylla just does incredible damage. Of course, once you level her abilities up to their final tick, their 5th level, they all get new forms. The Crush getting just like 40% for 50% extra damage. Just an insane number worth of damage that you get on your Crush. Just makes it such a good ability against anybody, including the tanks. Another ult coming out.
Oh, it's an Aegis, not a Bees, but it might be enough. Yes.
Wow.
Hard Stepdad didn't have the correct relic, still popped one anyway, and manages to make it out. But that could be the go button. There are 2 members on the left side of the map for Cyberpunk Otters. Now it could just be Krusty's going to try and solo out this Oni Fury, which would be a big boon towards their team. No one is going to be over there for Kaldrs in time, so this Poseidon should just be able to grab that. The Titans have unleashed. We've been long enough into this game. They're going to march down the lane a second time. That Oni, it will ring out across the map, but Kaldrs not quite going to push anything for it quite at the moment. And now they're going to have to worry about this Titan marching down right lane. They're going to have to worry about these Oni waves in all 3 lanes, and they're still going to have to worry about the fire dance that's been happening for a solid 5-6 minutes now.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the last play that the Kaldrs did, it did put them in a really rough situation, giving Cyberpunk Otters enough time to not only secure the Oni Fury to put Oni waves in each wave, but also give them time to set back up more healthily. Now the fight's breaking out. Ult's coming out.
Oh, it's a pull in on Dolo, who's just gone. Guzzy gets a big kill onto the Wheelish here. And now the Sash is good and will take up 1. Will they die upon landing? It's close. It is enough. The Captain not taking enough to live through that combo that we talked about all the way back in picks and bans. That is 2 picks going the way of Cyberpunk Otters. They have the Titan marching down right. They have the Onis marching towards the Phoenix in left. This is their Fire Giant, unless a miracle comes out of this Kaldr's team, and it will not. Was almost expecting it with how many steals we've seen so far. Now Daddy Neptune, though, could be in a bit of trouble. Needs to make it out. And this siege is well and truly on for the Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, unfortunately, just unable to make a play that really was successful for them. Now on the back foot, 2 down, T2 down, still pushing is the Cyberpunk Otters, full Fire Giant belts on all of them, looking for this siege. No minions, but they don't care. They're in.
Twisted Fire Angel, though, gets a big pick. The bird is gone, but up in the air is one, and Hard Stepdad will end up falling. The No Escape doesn't find much, but it will pull in Daddy Neptune, who takes a lot from the Kraken. Excuse me, it found a ton, as You Mad Yet gets a pick as well. It's a deicide,
Wow.
and it was such a close game, and blink and you miss it. The Cyberpunk Otters have just done enough. Nothing Dolo can do. A triple kill for the Naja. And
Wow.
another deicide. The Cyberpunk Otters get the win over Kaldr's good boys.
47 minutes and 43 seconds. Yes, the scoreboard says 31-23, but folks, if you've been watching this entire time, you would know that the gameplay tells another story. This game was hard fought by both teams. No one gave an inch till the very last. It was very close. Everyone did an amazing job looking at those damage numbers. Scylla, 43k. Daddy Neptune, 36k with an almost like with a hybrid build. 44 and 44 on the side of Cyberpunk Otters. Insane numbers coming out from everybody tonight.
Yeah, that was such a quick end. I caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay,
I
they're gonna
know.
pull in the chalk. It's totally fine. Wait a minute, no, everybody's dead, and the game is over.
Gone.
That was, I mean, that's what happens when you get to that late of a game, right? You just, one moment leads to the end of everything, and in this case, Cyberpunk Otters managed to get the game win and the set win. They were 4th seed before this game. Not quite sure how that affects the numbers, but that's got to be feeling good for them as we get closer and closer to playoffs. So congratulations to them. They played 3 great games. Even the one they lost, they still had the moments in there. That was just a very close set.
Yep. But I really want to give a special shout out to the, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting their name because we've
Calder's
gone
good
3 games.
boys.
Thank you. So the KGB, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I just want to give a huge shout out to them. Game 1, you know, if you watch that game, you're expecting a very different outcome from the set, but they brought it back. Game 2 was able to take it and then did an incredible job game 3. Like both teams killed it tonight.
They really did. And because of that, we're all the winners getting to watch that great game. That was cheesy as hell. I apologize. And I'm going to sign off on that one. It's been a great time here. Once again, I've been Dr. Shrew, joined by Snips with Deacon on the cams. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight, late here on Frank's retirement home. And we will see you in the next one.